Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to BlackOut Gaming TV, bringing you the quarter-final of the Premiership Playoffs, ETF2L's Highlander Season 10. This is where the action continues for those of the teams that are vying to win the title. Tonight's game is between a Prem debutant, the Bureau, versus Season 6 champions Highpander. I'm CeeJaey. With me tonight is Sigafoo, and the action has already started. Sigafoo, do you want to take us away from what we can see?
Yeah, currently the first mid-fight has gone down in the favor right now of the Bureau, and they're continuing to roll onto the second point. Gorston gets caught out here on the second point easily enough, and now on a 19-second respawn wave. And that's not going to be too good, as we could actually go all the way through here last. Actually, Hildreth, who's playing medic right now, did go down, so Chronos sitting at 100% ready to rock and roll, trying to push in through this lobby area. And we should be seeing them push in here, but there's a sticky trap right above Cooley, who does peek it, but does not go down. It's going to get caught out there, and it'll be interesting to see if they're going to push this, but they need to push it soon because they don't want to lose that advantage.
That's the thing with Galiwash. It's, do you have a big enough advantage to push? But also, that's not always like the thing that you need. You need the advantage of players as well, because it is a notoriously difficult thing to push. I'm just getting into the game now. We can see Scriptzon trying to get that pick as the Uber does come in, and people are just going onto the point straight away, and there's no one defending it. There's no one trying to stop them. And the Bureau have taken the first round 1-0, Sigafoo. And I was going to say, heading into this game, as we put them in, the Bureau are brand new to Prem this season. They won high Season 9, earning them a place for Season 10 in Prem. And this map pick was actually picked by Highpander, who, as we know, were the Season 6 champions. They're the highest seed. They've always finished in the top 3. Clearly the favourites here, but Bureau taking lead already.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Well, it is just, the thing with Hive CPs, it can just have one rolly moment, and the Bureau did a good job after they picked the mech to go all the way through, but they're continuing on here as Mookie jumping in over the top, gets some damage down, does take down the engineer. Grenjabob behind, trying to pressure onto the sniper, who ultimately is going to be able to take him down. Yahoo does get a pick there onto Doom. Grenjabob also goes down as well. Mookie is going to bully them out, and the second round is going to go in the favor right now of Highpander. So despite losing that first round, they are going to finally kind of get something back in their favor, as we have Mookie a little bit overextending here on the second point.
Yeah, it's probably feeling quite good for them to actually get a mid-fight now, and I wouldn't be surprised if Highpander start to slow things down. You don't want it to be too fast-paced. You want to retain control of the game, and if they start to lose control here, the Bureau could, if they stink another round, it's going to really put them under pressure. We did see Highpander play this map most recently. Obviously both of these teams, but Highpander played it against Fair Enough, and they did actually lose it. And we're seeing a push here coming in from Big Door. Highpander just kind of sneaking through, but you look at Scrambled, he's holding the high ground. He's going to be very difficult to dislodge, and they do trade the Ubers. Uber is flashed a lot of times by Hildreth, and wisely he starts to back off. They do drop Gorston though, so no Pyro for Highpander at the moment. And this is just this is dangerous from Highpander. Hildreth, they're just peeking over, and no one's capping. You could have a player capping while you're doing the push, but Scrambled is just being annoying, and it's just attacking from that high ground.
Yeah, though he does easily get cleaned up there. Script is actually right above the point. Let's see if he can actually get a headshot onto something. I believe he got called out there, so not able to connect with anything. ×2 onto the point, and the second point finally goes down in the favor right now of Highpander, and they're looking to go into last. They don't have any real Uber advantages. They're only sitting at about 75%, only a few ticks above the enemy team here, but that's not going to matter to them, as now it's just a question of how do they want to push into this last area, and looks like they're going to hold down to lower area. And I don't know, when you're kind of in this situation, it tends to be a lot of teams kind of slow it down and try to just work out picks and stuff like that. But it was interesting to see push onto that second point, kind of going back as we have some time here, is where they traded Ubers from Big Door, which is kind of unusual. Usually you're going to trade Ubers in the choke area, but it's a really beautiful job when pushing into the second point, having Mookie and the engineer go in from choke, the opposite side of the push, and put out a lot of damage, as McNando does get caught out there.
Yeah, this is kind of where we start to see the stalemate now. We look at Griddle, he's just uncloaked, he's right behind! Matex didn't even hear him! And the backstab comes in on the engine, and Grenjabob just before dying gets that sap onto the level 3 sentry. That's going to really, really help Highpander there. No level 3 sentry to have to worry about, and Gorston's just kind of teasing in the river area, and it's kind of, if you get your Pyro in river, in the water area, and onto the point, he can just push people off the point, and Gorston is going to get picked off there, so that's not going to happen, and we are going to get into this kind of stalematey area now. But yeah, the Ubers were trading. I totally missed that, Sigafoo. What's going on? I'm totally not on the level.
I was watching the exact same thing as you, and it looks like they got a little bit too aggressive inside the lobby area, and Hildreth ultimately got popped off, and I believe both mechs just kind of got scared out here. But we actually have the medic Renji Bob with the stab on the Chronos, and down he goes, only 5 alive here on the defensive side. Down goes the Heavy as well. Take that down to 4. Maddox is up with the mini sentries right now, but that's not going to do too much for the defensive side. Hildreth sitting at 64%, and they can go in right now, and that's exactly what they're going to do, coming in this inside Justice, trying to get some damage out with the black box, actually getting disconnected. Down goes Delman, actually for the soldier. Mookie coming in here. Gorston onto the point, gets ×1 onto it. Half of it already capped. Yahoo with a nice defense, but there's still Mookie there. He gets easily cleaned up and a little bit getting ahead of themselves, and now with only 2 players alive, a nice defensive stand coming out of the Bureau right there, and actually I would even say that's a little bit more of a mistake out of Highpander with that push.
Well, I was going to say it was a mistake from the Bureau. I mean, the reason I had no idea that they traded Ubers was because why would you push Uber into Uber when you're defending last? Like, it seemed a very odd decision, and it looked like they were going to be punished for it, but Highpander just didn't collect themselves. They didn't group up together. They didn't push as a unit. They were just running in one by one, and that's not going to work. You know, Gorston went for the point, but there was no support from the rest of his team, and Bureau have capitalized on that. And they've got 100% Uber in the back now. I know it's quick fix, actually, and they are using this quick fix through choke. And they're just trying to keep it mostly onto Scramble, trying to keep that Heavy tanked up and alive. And they are getting kills. That's 4 picks already. And they should be able to capture this point. But Hildreth, most importantly, has stayed alive. He's at 75% now, holding in big door. But he hasn't got any big... There's a spy on him! Oh! Almost gets picked there, but he gets the Ubersaw, which means he's now straight up to 100%. And Atomic looking like he wants to take that Uber in through choke.
Yeah, it looks like they're actually going to come into this midpoint right now. Gets the scout right onto the point right away, but they're holding so passively right now. The Bureau is, and actually Fungi does go down there, so that's actually going to open it up, and here comes a quick fix back into the main point. Gorston holding incredibly close, does take down the Heavy with the help of Mookie, and they're going to start to push through here right now. Grenjabob's going to try to make a play, gets caught up by Yahoo, but only 2 alive with Hildreth included, and that's pretty important. That's going to give them at least a chance here, but that quick fix is actually going to build faster, and they're going to have quick fix to go on to the second point, and Hildreth with Kunai is going to go up into his upper area, but it's probably going to be a little bit too late, but no, actually Fungi does get on the respawn wave, so they'll have a chance to defend this.
Yeah, they do have that Heavy up in that early area, and Cooley just went really far forward and manages to get himself picked off there, so no demo support for the Bureau, and the Pyro goes down as well. That's Yahoo, and Kunai is just doing a great job denying any aggression, and the Bureau are going to have to back off here. You know, they do have that 100% quick fix. Ready, look at the spy. Grenjbob comes in, he gets the backstab onto Scrambled. That is a Heavy down. Probably not the pick he would have wanted in that situation with the sniper and the medic on the either side, but it is a decent pick, and it's going to allow Highpander to start walking forward here. They do have Uber, and Uber is much better against quick fix, but they haven't found any frags. A lot of this Uber is just getting them onto this aggressive area, and they could repush this with the quick fix if they want to, but Gorston is doing so much work, takes down the demo, forces the quick fix, and it's just used on the sniper Sigafoo, and Highpander have just been losing players somewhere, and I don't know why.
Yeah, the Scout and Soldier kind of held on the point. The flank class is doing absolute work as Atomic, the flank class for Highpander, does go down pretty easily right there. And this is going to actually prompt a lot of aggression coming out of the Bureau. Only 3 alive on the blue side, that's Highpander, as he did just get some respawns. That's not going to be enough in time as a second point going down in the favor of the Bureau. But yeah, I mean, it just was kind of ultimately just a lot of flank classes making picks. But Chronos goes down there, overextending across the point. And will the defense come out to defend the second point? No, it will go down in the favor right now of the Bureau, but they shouldn't be able to hold on to this without having a medic.
I have to say, Gorston is a player that, you know, he doesn't stand out amongst, you know, you got players, you know, Pyros this season, people like Steve, Scissors, and Yahoo's impressed so far this season. You know, they stand out for these big plays, but Gorston, he's a man that just goes in, and he just does that, and he's been really, really good for them so far. He's forcing Ubers. He just got that med pick. He gets a lot of med picks that's been seen so far over this season, but he's doing a lot of work for them at the moment, and he's kept them in this game with that kind of that defense there, getting that med pick. Chronos is 70% behind. He's changed over to the Medigun now, so Hildreth with that 100% needs to do something with this quickly, and they're walking in through choke, and the Uber is used really, really early, and they do drop Gorston in it. Fungi is going to jump forward, trying to get something. He's going to try in a demo fight with Kuuli, and Kuuli lands that pipe, and Fungi might actually get cleaned up here by Funds. So that was a terrible, terrible Uber from Highpander. They in fact lose 4 players and don't get a single kill out of it. And Chronos is going to have 80% Uber. They're walking through big door now, and Highpander looking all out of sorts at the moment.
Yeah, really, I mean, oh my god, here comes in Mookie with the 2-shot! 2 rockets perfectly onto the medic, gets a beautiful kill there. It might be a little too late, as the time streak is on the point currently in the favor of the Bureau, but that's actually not going to stop them coming from this upper area, at least to put down some spam damage, because they cannot get healed up. They got to be careful not to overextend here to allow a back cap. But Mookie, the saving grace right now for Highpander is, Highpander, they just can't seem to get the feet underneath of them to be able to get some clinical pushes in, and they just, I don't know, they're struggling today. And I can't quite put my finger on if it's just they're getting disconnected, if it's just, the Bureau class's flank just doing so well, but they are struggling, though they are sitting at 100%, and looks like they want to get back onto the second point.
Chronos was at 95% there, so close to getting his Uber. So it wasn't a drop, but it was so close as Uber comes out from lower, and Scrambled is doing a lot of distraction work there, does get taken down. Yahoo goes down as well to the pipes of Fungi, and the Bureau are so weak. Chronos only at 40 HP, had to back out of that big door, so his team is not getting heals, and there's loads of frags coming down, and Funz just walks forward, picks up 2, including the medic. And once again, we're seeing Highpander Uber through, and I'm like Sigafoo, I don't know what's going on here. I just think Highpander's Ubers are not picking up the frags they need. They're not getting the medic, they're not getting the demo, they're not getting the kills that they need to make an efficient Uber, and it allows Bureau to just respond with this aggression and clean up the kills. And once again, we've seen this Uber kind of trade across. Chronos now at 100%, Hildreth just respawning at 20. He's running that quick fix, just trying to get some sort of charge up for the defense. And it seems at the moment, from what I can see, it's just individual plays from Highpander at the moment. Gorston we saw get a med pick at a key time. Mookie we just saw get a big meg pick at a big time. Players like that making big individual plays, it's kind of equalizing it out. But when it comes to pushing forward, Highpander, as there's an Uber coming in, it's soloed onto the Pyro. Yahoo's just walking forward, and he's just going to go onto the point. And the quick fix is used by Highpander, but it's not going to keep them invulnerable. And there's lots and lots of damage. But Cooley goes down, Chronos goes down to Gorston, and there's a lot of kills here coming in for Highpander. They're just cleaning up. Last player left alive is Matex, and he goes down. That is a wipe in Highlander, Sigafoo. And that was just a decent defense and a good choice of the quick fix, just to get some sort of charge up.
Yeah, the quick fix came out at just the right time. Great job of splashing it between the Pyro and as well as the Heavy hiding in secret. They did absolutely crazy amounts of damage to be able to defend this point, but now quick fix is just like Crits Creek in this situation. You need to pop it when you get it, and you need to pop it and get aggressive quickly, and they want to get onto this midpoint, but that was also kind of just a bad push out of the Bureau. They need to get somebody in water to get somebody on the point. I mean, I know the Pyro ran across, but they only had about 3-4 people in right away as the quick fix does come across the point. Fugi doing a lot of damage, actually going to catch out the sniper here. Cooley is actually in a very bad spot right now, should get killed, cleaned up here very easily with the help of actually the axe coming out there. Fungi, nice frag, but 80% sitting here with Chronos on the Uber charge, and they should be able to at least defend the second point. But Cooley going down there for another 10 seconds is actually going to work against him. Actually, no, this is a Crits Creek. This is a Crits Creek, and are we going to see laser beams? That's the question. And it looks like not yet. But Hildreth seeing 60% in building as they're continuing to pressure inside of this big door.
Yeah, they had some key frags there, Highpander. They picked up the sniper and the demo, which just meant kind of Highpander could just peek through. They could just get that free damage, and they do get the sniper again. Scriptzon is down, and like you said, it is laser beams onto Scrambled. He does pick up Fungi, but Scrambled cannot see anybody else, and he's not going to pick up any frags. Look at Gorston, he is on the Heavy, and Scrambled manages to stay alive. Yahoo helping out his Heavy buddy there, but Gorston just kind of doing this roaming Pyro action and doing a lot of work. Highpander just kind of teasing through this choke area now. They're not all the way in just yet. They do have 100% on that quick fix, which is obviously the reason why Chronos switched over to crits, maybe to try to catch out the medic, and he's at 65%. So Hildreth needs to either stay safe or use his charge and get the medic before he gets crits, because, oh no, unless he gets backstab and dropped. McNando with the huge play, and Scriptzon manages to take down the sniper as well, and I don't know what's going on, Sigafoo. How?
Not turning around is probably a good how.
But I mean, it's not just the medic going down. It's like Highpander lost 3 or 4 players. Are they just losing the 1v1s here?
Well, I mean, Mookie in that last situation was in a really good spot. He was in the upper area, kind of doing a flank, distracting the Bureau, and that's the reason why Highpander were able to get so much ground, because they're dealing with the soldier behind them. But then I think Mookie overextended a little bit when his job was just to poke, distract, and annoy. And I think ultimately he tried to go for a play, but going for a play against 7 players isn't going to net you a good result. And that's exactly what happened. Whereas if he just kept alive, kept annoying. And it just, I think that's kind of it right now. We're seeing out of Highpander is they have exceptional DM. They're doing a good job. Players are making plays, but they're also making a lot of misses, and that's ultimately kind of working against them. As we do see 100% on Chronos here, pushing through the big door side, and they're on the crit screen. Let's see how they want to do this, as actually Justice is going to come in around the corner. Does get some damage onto Hildreth, and actually Highpander's in a very awkward spot right now.
Yeah, they're actually, look at the Bureau, they're actually behind them. And I'm not sure if they know the backstab comes in onto Fungi. So demo down, and Hildreth is going to get caught out as he tries to escape. And the Bureau just have used their charge. They didn't even get any kills with it, though. They just literally went through lower, went through lobby. They were called because Doom was there. He told them where they were. Fungi got the stickies just to stop them coming through slide door. So they just walked up through river and came in behind. And they just sandwiched Highpander as they tried to escape. Medic down. Chronos is already at 65% just as Hildreth is respawning, but it doesn't matter! Huge play from Mookie to get another med pick at a really, really key time here. But is it going to matter? Pyro comes in on the point. Manages to get about 50% of the cap there. Highpander are just clinging on with their fingernails onto this round. Already 1-0 down on the first map. Their choice of map, remember. And Hildreth has respawned with Medigun. It's kind of switching of the Medigun shenanigans going on right now. They're just trying to keep each other guessing. Highpander getting aggressive now in this lobby. But like I said, you know, once again, Highpander saved by an individual play there. This time, again, it was from Mookie.
Yeah, we have McNando on the last point, just kind of poking around to see if he can find anything. So many players right now for the pair holding in this big door side. The second point should easily go down in the favor right now of Highpander if they choose to take it, because if you actually just go through the upper area, you can close down anybody trying to push through, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Is Kunai is going to be pushing from this upper side. Fungi is going to drop down onto the point as Gorson gets a kill onto Funds right there, taking down the scout. And yeah, the point finally going back in the favor. And I got to say, a little bit of a, I guess they wanted to play it safe here. Maybe that's what they wanted to do. I'm not exactly sure. But the second point does go down in the favor of Highpander. And looks like they want to go all the way through here. And they're going to pop a charge just to do that. Atomic drops down onto the floor. Heavy is going to get the Uber popped off on him. Cooley, though, gets a response back with the counter pop. And they're going to be able to hold on to this midpoint right now, though Grenjabob and Doob going behind and getting some collective frags between them. And they might be able to make something, or at least get some intro picks, but so many players lost on this side, and Hildreth goes down as well as I'm looking away. Great play there by Cooley, taking him out.
Yeah, Cooley just walked forward. Gorson managed to pick up the frag, and he's actually just trying to distract the combo here. And Yahoo and Scramble both on an 8-kill streak. And Mookie is in again. Chronos is so weak. Fungi comes in, lands that sticky to take down Medic. Does cost him his life eventually as Yahoo cleans him up. But that Medic pick is huge. Hildreth's spawning. I mean, I don't understand the Uber trait. I don't understand what is going on. I mean, Highpander used first, and Chronos didn't even milk it. He just used it as soon as he saw that Uber coming in through choke. And surely with the amount of flashes he did, Highpander would have had a decent Uber to at least deny the Uber or something. But Cooley just walked forward, got so much damage onto the combo, took down Hildreth. But like we saw again, a big play coming in from Fungi to keep his team in the game. And Highpander holding on to this second point now. They do have this Uber advantage. Hildreth is running that Medigun once again, and look how aggressive they are. Like, look at the Bureau. They're just kind of, they're taking the ground that Highpander are giving them in Big Door.
Yeah, Highpander now just suddenly to finally getting some ground on, actually on the ground. Doom as well as Atomic and Mookie just trying to spam out different angles to try to not allow the Bureau to be able to take any ground, but currently they have, 5 players sitting outside a big door. Scriptzon is trying to actually find some sight lines to be able to get a snipe off, but not able to get any picks currently. Both medics kind of playing a little bit of footsie, both holding on to the 100% Uber charge that they're currently on their respective points, and we'll see what they want to do. Is it is on Highpander to be able to do something, as they currently are down 1-0, currently in the favor of the Bureau. And I mean, I don't know, it just kind of seems like neither team, or at least Highpander, just can't figure out how they want to push this, but ultimately I think it's a bad timing. It's actually Nando trying to make a Batman stab onto Hildreth, not able to connect it. That would have been beautiful, but it kind of just seems to me like Highpander struggles to push multiple angles at the same time. They're pushing in with Uber Charge, but they're not pushing in with their team.
Yeah, but they do get the sniper pick here, and you can see as soon as they got that pick onto Tracker, there was so much aggression coming out of coming out of the Bureau, but they take so much damage, so much spam. Actually, look at Chronos. He's actually forced from just the random pipe spam from Funky. So great job by him. And they pick up Matix and Scriptzon, so no sniper for the afterfight. And Gorson is just going to take a lot of that Uber. They're going to take down Scramble. They're going to take down Cooley. And they're going to take down Chronos. Surely is going to die here as Gorson chases, finally lands that flare. Not many people using the flare gun anymore. But 2 players left alive, Sigafoo, and those are actual respawns. The backstab from McNando does take down Kunai, but it was a much better counter push there from Highpander this time. They didn't actually initiate the aggression. They just got the spam, they got the force, and then they just followed in as Tracker lands a headshot onto Scriptzon. This sniper battle has been pretty equal so far. I'll be interested to see who's got the most sniper picks at the moment, but Hildreth with about 70% in the bank, Chronos only at 20% on last, still running that medigun, not electing to use the quick fix. Surely this is a chance for Highpander to get around on the board.
Yeah, nice job there by Highpander on that last one. When they're capturing mid, this is a lot of things that lower level players miss out on. Is they actually had their combo class push onto the second point and start sticky trapping off the spawn door to force them actually have to back spawn. So Chronos is about probably 5 to 10% lower than where he would be at if they did not do that. It looks like they want to go through the server side right now. They have 5 players sitting right there. Fungi is going to come out here with the Uber charge coming down to his final point. Atomic easily gets taken out there right away. They're going to try to focus down this level 2 sentry gun. Gorston, the pyro underneath the point, does get down to water, trying to WM1 onto the heavy, but he's going to get taken out himself. And 4 players down from the Highpander side, and a defense comes out from the Bureau as they hold on. And now with the 100% Uber charge, they probably want to push out.
I don't understand the river push. I don't understand. You have this huge advantage. These players are they're the 3rd and 4th best teams in Europe according to the standings so far this season, and they're pushing with an Uber advantage in from river. And you have so much ground to make up, but Chronos does get forced there once again. So decent play from Highpander to get the force out, giving them the Uber advantage. But it does mean that the Bureau are going to cap their second point. I'm not understanding these pushes at the moment. And you'd think the fact that Highpander picked this map, they should be comfortable with where they're pushing from. And at the moment, it just seems Bureau tactically are much more comfortable on the map. As a team, it looks like they're more comfortable. Whereas I think Highpander are staying in the game because they've got some classes have got good DM, they've got some really good plays. But Uber advantage coming in through choke now. It's going to be used onto Atomic, of course. They do take things scrambled with ease, and this time Chronos cannot escape. He's going to get cleaned up. Scriptzon surely going to die as well. And that is a triple kill from that push. And so many players dying for the Bureau that they can just walk in now. And they can probably take it straight to last if they're quick. The last time they did this, Sigafoo, if you remember, they waited too long and the respawns came up and just totally shut them down.
Well, I'm guessing this is the exact same thing because it looks like they want to push that main side, but Justice, just as he did last time, shuts it down using that black box as the medic is going to come back up here on the defensive side. The Bureau's medic Chronos now switching to quick fix for this last hold, reconnecting up there with Justice. Being able to heal him back up as currently Hildreth sitting at 69%, but that quick fix does build faster than the Uber charge, so the quick fix will at least have a chance to be able to defend this. Mini Sentry is currently out on the defensive side, not necessarily wrong, maybe didn't think he had time. Granger Bob's going to decloak here, probably should be on the cloak and dagger as he gets cleaned up there for no particular reason. And now both mix at 100%, and it looks like they want to push in that lower.
Yeah, but they're going to be facing a full charge of quick fix, and the Uber is used really early. It's flashed onto 4 different players, and the quick fix is used by Chronos. Someone needs to focus him down, but instead the Bureau are just going to get the frags. Walking onto the point was Gorston. He does get cleaned up. Look how much cap time is there. Hildreth is in sneak. He's going to get taken down by Justice. 2 players left alive for Highpander, and once again the push has no success. And I just think, if your spy's gone in on last, surely the enemy medic's running quick fix. He's probably going to have that charge. If you don't use... Oh, look at Granger Bob! Once again, Highpander are just saved by a clutch situation. It's Granger Bob this time he manages to get the mid pick. And I don't know what it is. It's just kind of this timing and these individual plays from Highpander are keeping him in. So they're actually going to defend this second point. Hildreth has respawned and he's already walking into lobby, Sigafoo, but Granger Bob saving the day for Highpander this time.
Yeah, they just continually, as you said, they just have the individual plays stepping up, but the problem is when it comes to the team efforts, they are not stepping up on that front. I mean, they push into that final point. Yeah, they flashed 4 people, but they didn't have anybody on point quick enough. Like, when you have these pushes coming in, particularly in Gully Wash, there's no excuse not to have dual focus is happening. And what I mean by that is get somebody on that final point as soon as you're pushing in, because that creates like the enemy team who's defending, they have to either kill the people on the point or they have to deal with the people who are uber charged. And usually that's where the miscommunications happen. That's where you get the frags coming out in your favor. And every time they're just a little bit delayed on that. Hildreth sitting 92%. Kunai, rightfully so, going down into last, does catch out the spy there. And they have 2 players in the water area. This might be the push that we finally see. Fungi getting the uber charge popped off onto him is going to be coming into this final point. Yahoo's not down, so no pyro to be able to defend this. The Devil does get disconnected from the mech. He gets taken out. Gorson, though, cleaning up some frags as they're coming onto the last point. The Scout, Atomic, #2 onto the point, but it does get defended. Here coming in from the Soldier as well as the Sniper. Mookie's going to try to come in from the underneath of the point, but he's going to run into a mini sentry. Does take it out, but with only him alive. Actually, Doom in as well. Takes down the Demo Man. Gorston, he's going to try to be able to do something. I'm sorry, that's a spy. And Doom trying to find something in secret, but the
back and forth so much. But the way things are, the Bureau playing on winning 1-0 on this map. This is Highpander's choice. I saw they used this Uber really early on, and then they lose their entire combo for it. They didn't get anything with the push, but it was the rest of the players. It was the flank coming in. Great timing by the flank and the rest of the players just to get these picks, and they managed to just flood the point, and they just drew so many players onto the point that they managed to get the kills, but they didn't manage to get the cap. And we're starting to enter that territory now where it's kind of, you know, people are clenching, people are getting worried. There's 4 minutes left in this map. I mean, I didn't realize it's been going on for over 25 minutes already. It's been just back and forth so much. But the way things are, the Bureau playing on winning 1-0 on this map. This is Highpander's choice. And once again, the Uber's used really early on. Fungi is going to take most of that Uber, but he takes no ground. He's just trying to sticky himself up on the point, but gets headshot by Scriptzon. And then Gorson's on the point. Can he reflect people off the point? He gets so much cap time. And he stays alive. And he gets the reflect. He keeps, look how close that cap is. And Hildreth stays alive, and Tracker manages to get the headshot onto Chronos. So if Hildreth gets out, and he starts healing pretty soon, he's going to have an Uber advantage, Sigafoo. This is just so close at the moment.
Yeah, this is madness. I mean, one of the things I do want to point out of kind of one of the reasons why these pushes are failing is, I mean, they've dropped their Demo Man, twice now while the Uber charge is still alive. And I mean, that's just, I mean, I don't think that's necessarily the wrong thing, but I think it's just mostly just wanting to try to flash as many people as possible. But actually, it's Scriptzon who's actually getting a lot of frags. You know, for instance, like they double Ubered the Scout and Demo 2 or 3 Ubers ago, and the Scout died instantly as soon as Uber was off of him. And so it's ultimately like, I think it's a Sniper kind of coming up to the plate and stepping up and getting the frags as they're coming in. And I don't know, just, yeah, I mean, they're just losing too many players too quickly. I'm not sure, I mean, kind of what are you seeing yourself, CeeJaey, or what would you be telling to Highpander if you wanted them to, you know, what would they be doing differently as they come in here?
This is the push I want to see. This is the push I want to see. This is exactly what I tell them to do. But unfortunately, Chronos does have that quick fix, and Fungi and Kunai are just going to get focused down straight away. But that's the push they need to do. The one through slide door, they can get straight onto the combo, they can do the damage there, but unfortunately nobody else managed to get the frags this time around. But Scrambled has gone down, so there are players that are going to get, look at Doom. Doom is in water. I don't know if anyone knows that. Oh, he has a fight with Mcnando. Mcnando surely has told his team, and Funzi is going to go down there and try to clean him up. And there is a level 3 watching the point from Matex. So Doom actually picks up funds, and Doom is just having fun in water. Like, he's just chilling out with a mini sentry, causing players to turn around, and Scriptzon goes down to Fungi's pipe. So Doom there, while he's not actually physically doing anything, he's being the distraction, and it's causing Yahoo to look behind. It's causing players to be distracted, which should allow them to come in. And Grengible gets the sap onto the sentry, and he's actually going to try and revolve it. He does take it down. This is great coordination from Highpander. This could be their opportunity, but they do lose too many players. Hildreth at 92%. The only players they managed to take down was Scrambled and Matex. And 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, Sigafoo. They're going to have 100% charge, and it's going to be against a quick fix, but they're going to need to get a lot of kills with it, and they're going to need to do a lot of work to take this all the way to last.
They do at least get the respawns back up in time. As you said, a minute left on the clock, and we'll see if they're able to find anything, as they're sitting at 100% charge right now. And we'll see what they can do here. Justice, look at this spot right now. He's actually going to drop down to the hill. Just does get the force off onto him. After taking him down to half health, he does die for that problem. But this is going to allow them at least to take this second point if they play it correctly. Chronos disconnected from everybody. He does connect back up with the Scout as he does take down the Sniper. I'm sorry, the Demo Man right there. Hildreth goes down as well. And I think that's pretty much all she wrote in this first map. 40 seconds left. Actually, wait, they lost so many players. How did they lose so many players in that? It looks so good for them right now. And they actually have Doom sitting on that last point. ×3, they actually might backcap this. No! The scout, the spy above, stopping it. And Doom should go down. And that chance, that would have been so interesting. 25 seconds left on the clock, and they will capture the second, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, Ashley Grenjabov there winning the spy battle on second. And there's 15 seconds. Somebody needs to be stood on the point now. Mookie is in water, trying to get some pressure, but he's just going to get spammed out. The entire Bureau team is just sat on the point. And they're going to need to all die as Scriptzon gets another headshot, taking down Fungi. And he gets another one taking down Tracker. So many players dying here. And that is the end of the first map. And that, I'm just going to say it. I mean, normally I don't say it when I'm casting 5CP, but that 30 minutes flew by. And Highpander's map choice, their map choice, they picked 5CP, they picked Gullywash, and they have just lost the first map to the Bureau in this quarter-final. So Bureau taking away the advantage in this first map, and I do believe we'll be moving on to their next, which is Borneo. But I mean, let's just go over that entire map, Sigafoo. What went wrong for Highpander, or what went right for Bureau? Like, which one was it?
I mean, I don't know if it really went right for either team. I mean, after that first round, the first round took what, about 2 minutes? We ended up dropping Chronos at key times to be able to do that, but they just seemed like not to be fully coordinated. I mean, it just felt like if they just catch their breath, if they said, okay, nobody die here, let's push in 30 seconds, nobody die. And if they had 9 players flood in at the same time when an Ubercharge was going into that final point, I truly believe they would have been able to take a round there. But it seemed every time they just had like, kind of a half push going in, which can still work sometimes. It's not necessarily the wrong thing. But ultimately, the Bureau, but they just seemed like not to be fully coordinated. I mean, it just felt like if they just catch their breath, if they said, okay, nobody die here, let's push in 30 seconds, nobody die. And if they had 9 players flood in at the same time when an Ubercharge was going into that final point, I truly believe they would have been able to take a round there. But it seemed every time they just had like, kind of a half push going in, which can still work sometimes. It's not necessarily the wrong thing. But ultimately, the Bureau always continually stepped up to the plate, got the frags that they needed, and did a good job on defending. And so, I mean, the Bureau kind of struggled outside of the defensive side of things, but their defense always stepped up to the plate no matter what. And so that's where Bureau was able to hold on this 1-0 initial round, as you said. And we go into, Borneo here, and look at the logs right now with having its Scriptzon. I don't think I've ever seen that name before, but he's actually top fragging as well as with Cooley doing a crazy amount of damage. And actually, interestingly enough, Fungi is actually in the bottom. He's actually in the bottom 4 for damage, or bottom 3. I'm sorry if you include medics. That's insane. Having your demo man in the bottom 3.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said about people dropping players. I mean, there were so many times that I saw Tracker standing far forward trying to get a pick, and his team weren't supporting him. And you can look at that from 2 angles. Either A, it's Tracker's fault. He shouldn't be there too far forward by himself. Or B, his team should be there protecting him. It's his team's fault. So there's some coordination issues there. But yeah, looking at the log, Scriptzon, we can go over the rosters quickly, I guess, to kind of bring in why Scriptzon's playing. So if we look at the Bureau, we got Funds on Scout. Now, Funds is on the roster. I think he's played 1 game this season, or I'm not sure if he's actually played at all. So Zaphus is their main scout, so I'm guessing he's unavailable, or Funds is now main, I'm not sure. But he's playing Scout. Justice, Yahoo, Cooley playing Soldier Pyro Demo. Scrambled playing Heavy is a new addition. Used to play for them last season, left the team in dramatic circumstances, came back and has replaced Simba for the last half of the season, as Simba is unavailable. On Medic they have Chronos, on Engineer Matex. Spy is McNando, who's playing his first game for 3 weeks because 1PT's been playing, so I'm not sure whether McNando's back for good or he's just playing because 1PT's unavailable. But Scriptzon is a player, again, he played the last 2 matches for the Bureau. Normally their sniper was Bess from Italy, but Scriptzon, he's from Portugal, and he's kind of just not come out of nowhere. He's always been around on the scene, but he's playing, this is the first time he's played in Prem, his first season, so this is his 3rd match in Prem, and yeah, he did very well there, 27 frags to 14. Tracker is a sniper who so far this season, in his 7 games, has always outsniped the other sniper. I'm sorry, except for once, which was the last game of the season. They actually got outsniped by Scriptzon there, so Scriptzon doing a lot of work for the team. If we go over to Highpander, quickly go over their roster. So on Scout, they've got Atomic. Soldier is going to be Mookie. Now, Mookie has kind of been this this multi-class sub for Highpander. So far this season, he's played Heavy, Engineer, and Spy. Last season, he played Soldier and Medic. So obviously, he's jumping in because Ubers is he has internet issues. But I do see Ubers on the logs. So I'm not sure whether Ubers joined right at the end there, and if he'll be playing in this game, we'll have to wait and see. But Ubers is a huge part of the way they play, especially his coordination with Atomic. Then we got Gorston on Pyro, Demoman is Fungi, Kunai playing on Heavy, Medic is Hildreth, Engineer is Doom, Sniper Tracker, Spy, Granger Bob. So this is essentially the full roster for Highpander. This is their strongest team. And, coming into this season, Highpander, they broke a record, or they equaled a record, I think, where they've played in the highest tier of Highlander, Premiership Highlander, more than any other team. The other player team was SNSD. And every season Highpander have played, they've always finished in the top 3. They finished first back in Season 6, they finished second twice, and they finished third once, or something like that, I can't remember. Mm-hmm. But basically, if they lose here, they'll finish 4th. And it'll be the first time in their history that they haven't finished in the top 3. So that first map was a huge upset for a number of reasons.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Bureau can write history, because that's also pretty impressive coming out of the Bureau, who's currently, as you said, this is their first season inside of Prems and make playoffs, and then to also upset a team like one of the longest standing teams, or currently the longest standing team playing in Prem right now. That'd be a pretty big deal. And now they're playing on the map Borneo, the one that they chose, but it'll be interesting to see, as I do see Ubers inside of the game here. So I wonder if looks like Mookie is not here either. So it looks like we are going to get their main soldier back here. As you said, does help a lot with their pushing and whatnot, and also having a soldier who knows how to play, particularly on defense when it comes to payload maps, tends to work out pretty well, because you want to make sure, that's the biggest difference I find between soldiers who know what they're doing in a set of Highlander versus soldiers who are just good. A lot of soldiers who are just good tend to play like a roamer at all times instead of Highlander, but soldiers who actually know how to play Highlander, particularly on defense, tend to play very smartly, not suicide their life away, do out that damage that they need to do. And so I think that's going to make a big deal, as we are sitting at 18 players, actually 19 players right now, so I'm sure one will leave. But coming into this map, what are your predictions right now after that first round that you saw?
I just think the problem with Highpander at the moment, or the worry, I should say, is if they go on tilt, then that's it. That's the tie over, and Bureau will be going through to the next round. You've got to look at this, that it's a 3-map tie.
Mm-hmm.
You have to win 2 maps. Highpander, currently, they're 1 map down. They need to win the next 2. And we've seen teams, come from the brink and, be rounds down, maps down, and still come back and win games. So Highpander, they've got experienced players. Some of these players are so experienced. You look at Hildreth, he's been around for a long, long time. And, if he can keep his head level and just say to his team, look, let's just focus. We can still win this. We can take points. We can do this. But obviously, Bureau feel confident on this map. If they picked it, based on the maps available to them, then it must have been a map that they were confident on. I did scrim them on this week. Admittedly, my team was a bit of a mixed team, but they seemed strong on it. And we saw Scriptzon do very, very well on that map. And this is a sniper-friendly map. There are such long sightlines that if they can get him into position and do well, then it's going to be very difficult for Highpander. On the other hand, Tracker is one of the best snipers in Europe as well. And if he can start hitting his form, he starts hitting those headshots, it's going to be difficult for the Bureau as well. So I'm not sure how good Highpander are on this map. The last time I played them on it was when we played the map, which was, week 3 or something like that. So, they've obviously been practicing it. If they came into this map knowing that they were going to have to play Borneo at some point. So they should be prepared. But like I said, they just need to have faith in their players. They have some of the best players around. If they start playing like a team, then they can do it. But that was the problem on Gullywash. They didn't seem coordinated. And it seemed a little bit odd that, looking at that map, you would say the Bureau seemed more comfortable on it. So I'm not sure. What players for you from Highpander need to step it up on this map, considering its payload?
Well, definitely, I think kind of the underperformers on Gully Wash are going to need to step up. I mean, Tracker, as you said, amazing sniper, but seemed to struggle when it came against Scriptzon. And then also Fungi, I mean, almost bottom damaging. I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, if a demo man bottom frags, okay, that's not a big deal. Like, sometimes that's okay. As long as your demo should consistently, I mean, at least be in the top 5. I mean, sometimes,
well,
Mookie did a lot of damage. What was that?
He came 5th.
Did he? I thought he came really. Maybe I was on the wrong stat line.
He was on kills. He was actually the lowest, other than Doom.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
But on damage, damage.
Sorry, damage. But he was still pretty low on damage, but not, as you said, 5. Then never mind. I take that. I am a professional caster. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Getting my stats right. Thank you for whispering in my ear about that. But no. But yeah, I mean, I want to see Fungi. I mean, still, like, this is, you need to see him be able to create space for his team, and it'll be interesting. But other than that, I mean, I want to see what Ubers can do. I mean, as you said, he's coming in here, wasn't able to play in the first map. Hopefully, he'll be able to kind of bring his team together. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I mean, I just want to see Highpander. I want to see them to play better. I want to see them do what they can do. I mean, we know what kind of each individual player that can do because we saw them do that last game. But it'll be interesting too because this is a map that's not played very much in the EU scene as we get readied up here, and it looks like we're gonna have Highpander starting out on defense here. And if you're in the other thing I want to point out is that Highpander lost the first round in about 2 to 3 minutes on Gully Wash. And looking in some of the chat, I mean, Scrambled in particular was saying some things which I don't think is pretty sportsmanlike, but he was saying them, and you can say that because it's legal, whatever, even no matter how it makes you look. But I definitely think that the whole losing the round and then having that rude person sitting on the bureau, I think got a little bit underneath of Highpander's skin, that maybe they tilted just a little bit, that it kind of lost them their way, and it's working out in the favor of the bureau. So we'll see what we're doing here as we are getting set up on this map.
Yeah, we're gonna have Bureau on blue, so they'll be attacking first. Highpander in the red, defending. And so Bureau will be setting a time, so they'll cap as much as they can, trying to get to that last point, obviously. And then once the time has run out, or they've capped the last point, Highpander will switch over to the blue and try to beat that time. And like you said, it is a new map to the scene. We saw this in the preseason cup. Highpander did get to the final of that cup. They did lose out, but they did get to the finals. They have had practice on Borneo. They played it in week 3. They did win that official 6-0 in week 3. So they did play against Wasp, and it was a very, very close game. And Wasp have been kind of, a similar kind of level to the Bureau. I think there was only about 1 point difference between the two teams. You can see Scriptzon, they're just walking up slowly, trying to get an angle, and he gets backstabbed by Grendrob. So big pick for them. And Doom just moving his sentry far back, but he's going to get sapped. He's actually going to get taken down. That's a pretty big pick coming in from McNando. So some suicides come in. They don't manage to get the force. But they do manage to get that sentry, so it's down to a level 1, so that's going to give it a little bit more space for the Bureau to move up. But you've got a lot more experience on this map, Sigafoo. I mean, what do the Bureau need to do to kind of get an angle on that combo?
Well, currently nobody is holding this right house. Bob is inside of there, but you need to have your flank classes holding that down, because if the enemy team realizes that, they can just push over you for free. But Cooley's actually just going to be pushing straight up here with the supercharge. Does take out the gun. Kunai is going to drop down onto the combos. Hildreth does do a little bit of a counter pop, but they got to be careful here not to get caught out. Justice is going to try to jump back in onto the combo, but not able to do any real damage. Gets taken out fairly easily there. They did lose Fungi, so no Demo Man on this defensive side, and that's going to just to prompt a backup here. But on that first point, I mean, I think that's the Bureau didn't really execute it too well, or at least, take advantage of it. But it did seem like when you gave up that right house, it gives you that long sight line. As they're going to get reset here in house. Where's a sentry gun to be built? It's going to be built on the backside. I prefer actually building inside of the house, being a little bit more aggressive with your combo, but Hildreth currently sitting at a little bit of an advantage and holding on here, and we'll see if they can hold on, as getting a lot of pressure currently from the Bureau.
Yeah, this sniper battle has just been so calculated, with Tracker and Scriptzon just trying to size each other up. But the combo holding in this house, Hildreth is at 91%, small advantage over Chronos. So probably a little bit of time before the Bureau decide to start pushing. But this is kind of the hold we've seen so far this season, this kind of combo holding in this house on the left-hand side with the sentry on the other side. But Tracker does go down. That's going to give a lot more freedom to the Bureau, as the Uber is used by them very, very early. They flashed it. They're not actually getting it, but Scriptzon got the kill onto Hildreth. Was that a drop? That must have been a drop coming in from Scriptzon to take down Hildreth, so that is a +2. I think that's the first one we've seen so far in this game. And Chronos does go down in the exchange, but he's one of only 2 casualties. But that sentry is doing work. Doom is doing his best to try and keep that sentry alive, but Scramble is just going to stand behind that cart for defense. And they are going to get the cap in 2 minutes and 28 seconds. So what looked like a solid hold from Highpander Sigafoo has turned into pretty much just a walking through for the Bureau.
And here's actually coming Scramble, trying to make a play onto the combo. Does get a decent amount of damage. You're going to have to back up into this house area, which is generally where you want to hold. Doom's going to be building on the 3rd platform, so we'll see how that works out from the cart. He's continuing to move up right now as the Bureau is starting to take ground, and it looks like they're going to be trying to push up this right-hand side. Currently, this hold style is pretty standard. That's Uber is holding on the left-hand side, shutting down that door combo, trying to defend the right-hand side, and the gun's going to be covering the main area. So you have every angle covered right now. And Hildreth does have about 100%, and so they could, if they wanted to be cheeky, they could actually push right into Chronos because he's only at 90%, but they're going to hold back, play it safe, and we're going to see an Uber exchange here pretty shortly.
Yeah, and they're walking through him, but so much damage done to the combo before they use Uber. Oh no, Funky gets dropped, gets taken down by McNando using the L'étranger there, and the counter Uber comes in. It's so much better coming in from Highpander. They need to get the frags. They do take down Cooley, they take down Chronos. Yahoo just walks up forward, and he's going to get so much damage done onto the combo, but he gets gunned down. Kunai there, doing a great job on a 3k, manages to just clean up the frags there, and somehow Highpander, with a decent counter Uber there, managed to hold on to this 3rd point. And I mean, would I be right in saying, from I've played this map a little bit in UGC and so far this season ETF2L, this 3rd point is kind of the reason people maybe dislike the map, because you have this high ground above the cart, you have these areas where you can just retreat to. It seems the most difficult point to push. So I mean, would you agree saying that this is the point that Highpander need to hold to get like a lot of their time?
Yeah, I mean, I think traditionally it used to be the 4th point to be able to, it kind of was frustrating. I think this 3rd point, you have to treat it kind of like last pushes, In Highlander, you can't, when it comes to pushing the final point, you can't just like push and take the cart. You have to push, you have to hold ground, and you have to push it slowly. Now, the thing right now is the cart is incredibly far forward. The sentry gun is actually not going to cover this. So what we need to have is the spy to come in. McNano doing just that. He's actually coming in onto the cart. He's going to get by here, but he's going to keep that cart forward. And now somebody's going to have to either stay on the cart or can continually be able to push forward. The other thing that you could do here on the offense side is you could try to aggress up on the right-hand side, because right now you could just run through the right-hand side straight down onto the cart and move it forward. But we're seeing the combo trying to get aggressive on this lower left-hand side. I believe both Ubers were popped off, but Hildreth did actually Hildreth with a drop.
He says WTF in chat. I don't know what happened there, but Bureau took so much damage walking in that they used their Uber really, really early, and it wasn't looking good. And they charged up the stairs, and Cooley just put 2 stickies down on the floor and just threw some pipes up, and Hildreth just got destroyed. He didn't use his Uber in time. He was trying to milk it like he did in the previous push, and it worked out well for Highpander, but they do manage to clean up all the kills. Kunai stayed alive, and so did Doom and his sentry. So with those two holding up the top ground, Ubers is doing a good job on the left-hand side, just kind of shutting down this area. But it does mean that Highpander still somehow hold on to this point, but Scriptzon is being the player that is kind of getting the openings. He managed to get the snipe onto Tracker early on, but Tracker responds this time, manages to take him down. And look at McNando, he's on Tracker. Can he get the pick? No, he can't. Gets taken out by Gorston, and we're just kind of seeing some suicides come in now. Matex gets the kill onto, but look at this, Granger Bob gets the backstab onto Yahoo, and he's actually going to get another 2 kills. Takes down Chronos the medic and Funds for good measure. He's still on road. Can he take down Matex as well? Who's going to get the kill? No, it's Atomic. He takes himself to a 3k as well, and that's some really, really good play there by the Highpander spy, just to lessen the pressure on his team. Hildreth now at 100%, and Chronos just spawning. I'm just going to have a quick check to see if he is still on Medigun. No crits shenanigans coming out of him. But that's just going to be putting Highpander into a much more relaxed position now, knowing that they're kind of just eking the time out on this 3rd point.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was kind of talking about beforehand, about how a soldier can really dictate the pace of the game if he plays it smartly. Ubers is currently using the black box as well as the conch, which is giving him massive amounts of healing, able to keep alive, and he's also maintaining high ground. So every time a push is coming in, he's able to just put out spam damage. Not only is he not letting anybody in this left-hand door because he's constantly re-getting med packs, but Scrambled is going to try to contest him. Actually have 3 people pushing in this left-hand side. Chronos is actually going to connect back up with the heavy, but look at Ubers is bullying him out just by himself. 4 people trying to push into him, and he's still somewhat winning the battle. Uber's going to come in here. They're going to go on the opposite side, going to try to focus down the sentry gun. Gun easily does get taken out with no Wrangler up onto it. Scout's going to drop it onto the floor, does take down Ubers. That was a big part of their defensive side, and this point should go down finally in their favor. Fungi does get pushed out. They're going to have to rotate around the front-hand side, try to get some damage down onto the cart. Scrambled with a Fist of Steel is going to run away for his life. Able to get out somehow. Yahoo is going to get out alive, but Justice as well as Cooley push around the right-hand side. Nobody sees him. Does take down the Heavy. Hildreth able to keep alive now at 100%. Pops his Uber just out of reflex. They're going to try to go flood back into this point to retake it, but it might be a little bit too late as this cart's so incredibly close. They need to keep someone on it, else he'll just get spy capped.
Yeah, there was a huge pipe reflect and all of that coming out of Gorst, and then Scramblers just use the Fists of Steel, trying to stand up, but the whip comes out from Ubers. Does get taken down by Funds, but Scramble goes down there, and the cap does go down as well to the Bureau. 7 minutes and 47 seconds for that third cap, which isn't too bad of a time considering it was only 2.5 minutes for the first two. And Gorston getting a bit too aggressive there, gets picked off by Justice. And Highpander just deciding to have a little bit of an aggressive hold here. Sniper is watching them, but they have this 20%, 30% advantage in their favour. And the backstab from Mignando takes down Doom. And this aggressive sentry is sapped, and it is going to go down. So no sentry support coming in. That's going to allow the cart to just be pushed now. And surely Highpander need to back off now. They have nobody watching that left-hand side. And if they're not careful, they're going to get forced, or even worse, just get picked, because Fungi is under so much pressure here. Has to just run away.
Yeah, the cart's continuing to move forward. Nice job by the Bureau keeping ×3 on it as they're moving it up here. It's going to be a level 1 sentry gun just starting to be built on this right-hand side of the barrier. Tracker's going to be looking down that right-hand side as well, looking through that entrance. And currently, the pushing into this final point here, I mean, you can try to just aggress through the right-hand side. Also going through the left-hand side up the stairwell is actually pretty effective, and 100%, and that's looking like exactly how they want to push this. Uber charge should come out onto this final point. Gun goes down right away. Gorson's going to get the Uber popped off on here. He's going to actually keep Chronos in a bad position. Scramble's going to push up here. They need to make sure to clean him up. Nobody's actually on the cart right now as Uber does do some cleanup. Cooley's going to jump in here, get a pipe onto Hildreth, but able to keep himself alive down to 23 HP. And the first defense on this final point comes out in the favor right now of Highpander, and they're looking incredibly good in these last 2 points.
Yeah, Cooley there with just kind of the last-ditch effort to get the medic, but instead managed to get the demo and the heavy, but they have respawned. The respawns on this map seem to be quite rapid on this last point, so the combo is back up for Highpander. With Hildreth surviving, he has that 25% Uber charge advantage over Chronos, and he's becoming under pressure there, Chronos, having to run away. Standing a little bit too far forward, and Scriptzon goes down to Tracker, so no sniper to get them some picks from the Bureau, and they're just going to have to wait now as Highpander have this really strong defense up. They have their level 3 up, they have their combo playing quite aggressive on this right hand side. Yahoo walking forward, but he's just facing a wall of spam, and at the moment we're just waiting for picks, and as I say that, Mignando gets caught out. He's going to die eventually to the flames of Gorston, so at the moment it's just about getting pressure on that cart and getting some picks. I can't see the Bureau just deciding to trade Ubers here. I'm not sure, even they do have their entire combo on this left hand side. It's all up to Scriptzon now. He's getting spammed out, but he's just kind of waiting for picks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing I want to see out of the Bureau when it comes to their next push is I want to make sure they get people on the card. Actually, Hildreth does get forced off here from the sticky spam coming out of the Demo Man. Cooley, who's going to be pushed back here. Gorston running all the way through, is actually able to take down the sniper, but it's not going to really matter that much as Chronos now sitting at 100%, holding on to this. And now it's a question of how is Highpander going to be able to defend this 100% Uber against them, as Mignando is going to decloak right behind the combo.
Yeah, Tracker went down there. He was so aggressive trying to get a pick, and Mignando does get the frag onto Hildreth, so no medic as the Uber comes in from the Bureau. They're just going to focus that sentry down. Doom doing the best he can, using that Rescue Ranger, just delays it a little bit of time, but there's 5 players left up for Highpander. One of them is Fungi. He's just respawned, lands a pipe onto Cooley. He does get cleaned up, but they need to focus that cart, and they don't. And it's 11 minutes and 9 seconds for that final cap, which I'm not experienced enough on the map to know whether that's a decent time or a long time, but I would say anything around the 10 minutes mark is, I don't know, pretty standard for this map, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends, but it can. I would say that's not like a horribly, like in like Upward or Bad Water, that'd be a horrible time. But on Borneo, I'd say that's like a slower side of average. Like I definitely think you'd want to see closer to like 9 minutes, 10 minutes when it comes to it, but that's definitely not a bad time. And given the fact that a lot of the reason that Highpander was able to do so well ultimately came down to them just winning the DM battles when it came to the slugfest of defending points, I think they're going to have a good chance here when it comes to the offensive side. I mean, now that we've seen, kind of Ubers come back here playing on the Soldier class, CeeJaey, what are your thoughts coming into this? Do you think Highpander are able to take this? And also, when it comes to, I know for 5CP, we do play a 30-minute round. What are the rules and regulations when it comes to the PL maps, when it comes to the best of 3?
It basically is a best of 3 on the payload map itself. So whoever wins this round will go 1 round to the good, but we will need to play at least 1 more. So yeah, we could have a best of 3 on this, and if Highpander take it, we'll go to another 30-minute session on a 5CP map. So we could be here for a while, Sigafoo. But yeah, I mean, definitely, if Highpander can get this first round, it'll definitely give them a bit of a morale boost, definitely, to take a round on the map that the Bureau have chosen. And of course, they need to win this map after losing the first map, Gully Wash, which was their pick 1-0. So it's huge jumps in here from Fungi and Ubers, and they're just coming in behind. Scramble goes down, and the Uber is forced. And I don't agree with this this choice to hold far forward on this map, on the kind of the far side in the house. And Chronos no longer has an Uber to keep him or his teammates alive. Hildreth with 100% Uber in the bank. He is going to be coming out very, very soon. And the sentry has been pulled back just behind the first point, just watching the tracks there. But I mean, I'm not sure about that choice. I mean, what do you think? Scriptzon gets the headshot onto Tracker there. But I mean, surely the Uber's going to come in soon from Highpander, and Chronos has nothing to do about it.
Yeah, that was, I would say, like, the worst hold you could possibly do on this map. I mean, that's like, that was something that was experimented with a lot, this first hold. How do you do it? The problem with holding up there is not only is it easy to get a force off, but in order to retreat, you have to retreat through a sniper sight lane. We're going to see the Uber popped off very early here onto Hildreth, going with Fungi, going down to this point. Level 3 Sentry Gun able to keep alive, using that Wrangler, gets sapped, easily gets taken out. Gorson running into the combo right now, gets cleaned up right there. Fungi's actually going to run in as well, taking a lot of damage onto Fungi. Scrambled's going to get caught out here with the help of Ubers. Is he actually going to win that 1v1? Doom helps clean that up. And down he goes. Atomic is behind enemy lines, but gets cleaned up as well. Not able to get the spy as well. Grenjabob trying to make a play. And now Doom, the furthest one running forward, trying to get something out of Chronos, who's holding on to 100%, but they did come down with that point and are looking pretty good. Also, no sniper right now. And on the second point, the sniper can have really good sight lines. I guess every point in this map can have really good sight lines, but it'll be interesting to see how they want to deal with this. But Chronos sitting at 100%. And they might get caught out here if they don't get some players to hold with them.
I disagree with what Highpander are doing. They're playing it far too passive there. I mean, they killed the engineer, they killed the sniper, they had nothing to deal with. They had an Uber disadvantage, they needed to move their players forward and get that force and, you know, take the ground, and they didn't take the ground. And as you can see, the Bureau have just walked in here and taken this house, and they have 100% Uber in the bank just as Hildreth gets his charge. And they really needed to take that ground, but so much damage onto Scrambled. Can he get picked off? He is going to get picked off by Fungi, but it costs him his life, so maybe not the best trade overall. But Matex did go down as well, so no sentry, no engineer to deal with, as Yahoo gets a reflect. Was that a reflect flare to take down Gorston?
I think so.
Wow, that is a long-ass time I've ever seen one of those happen, but yeah, reflect kill in this playoff game. And Highpander just bleeding players now. The Uber trade came in, but it didn't really achieve anything whatsoever. But I mean, the sniper down, Sigafoo. The sniper is such a huge, important class in Highlander, especially on a payload map such as this. Surely this is the time they need to get aggressive. As McDander comes in behind, no, he gets caught out. I mean, they should be taking the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I play, when I play in UGC, one of the main calls that we have is sniper down, get aggressive. Like, because when you snipers down, you can get aggressive as you want, and no one's going to be able to pick you off in the way that a sniper could. Because if somebody's going to kill you, they're going to kill you aggressively, and you can try to juke their damage. There's a lot of different things that you can do to play it differently. But when a sniper's down, you can get as aggressive as you want, and you should. You should try to get as much ground as you can take from the enemy team. I mean, that's what Highlander's a lot about, especially when you're on the offensive side, is taking as much free ground as you can get and bullying out the enemy team as much as you can. 6 seconds until this cart starts to roll back. Fungi is going to try to make a play and go behind. Does get caught up on that tree, not able to get out any damage, as the cart is going to start to roll back. Ubers might jump onto it. No, he's just going to try to make a play himself, and just miscoordination. Grenjabob gets caught out here. Kunai is going to be behind, but going to get caught out as well from Yahoo. And yeah, they just can't seem to do anything right now. But also, they just had 4 people suicide about 5 seconds apart to do something.
Yeah, it just kind of, all of that good effort from the first point is kind of bleeding out now, and nothing's really happening. And Chronos has 100%. Surely you want to see some coordinated suicides coming from the team. But Highpander are just really passive, and then Fungi gets taken down there by a sticky trap. Wasn't checked. And we've already gone over 4 minutes now. It's taken them to push just this point alone. And that cart is nowhere near that second point yet. It's still got that little ramp to go up, and it's still got a little bit away. And this is one of the easier points to push. I mean, third and last are much more difficult. So we're really going to have to see something impressive out of Highpander now to kind of roll this on to the next couple of points. It's going to take some big plays, and it's kind of the players you start looking towards your sniper, your spy, your soldier, someone to make a jump, someone to get a backstab or a headshot, something like that to make the difference. But at the moment, Scriptzon is just picking off Highpander players one by one, takes down Kunai this time. Uber's just kind of walking forward there, maybe looking for a jump, but it just seems, I don't know, it seems Highpander a little bit out of ideas at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, what I would love to see out of Highpander is doing actually exactly this, pushing through on the cart side, trying to take down the gun here, as the Pyro does actually get disconnected. Gun goes down with the help of Grungebob. Nice job there. But this forces the combo to have to deal with this. They have to either rotate over. But I mean, I don't think they needed an Uber charge to do that. I would have actually just pushed through, coordinate with Grungebob, who does get a nice stab there on the scramble, taking down the heavy, but just get Grungebob right above the gun, have the soldier downman jump in, take down the gun, take down the scout, and then you can just dry push it. Because now the enemy combo is going to have to peek through these two different windows to be able to defend the cart, which is like fairly like spammable, as it looks like Scriptzon is currently on a 12 kill streak, taking down Grungebob right there. But just something on the right-hand side rather than just doing the exact same thing over and over again, trying to push up the left-hand side.
Exactly, and half the time has elapsed, over half the time now, for Highpander, so the pressure is definitely on. And they need to do something different. They need to make something happen, and there's not been much pressure on the sniper, there's not been much pressure on the combo, but there's a lot of damage going down onto Scrambled, and it looks like they just want to focus this left-hand side. They want to focus the tracks, which is good, because if they manage to get the cap, and the Bureau combo can't get out, then it causes them a lot of problems. You look at Kunai, she's just trying to push that cap, and it does force the Uber, so that's decent from Highpander, but Hildreth doesn't survive. He doesn't manage to get out. Mignando gets the Lechondra out and just guns him down on the escape. So no even an Uber advantage for Highpander to come out of that, which is really disappointing for them. And it means Chronos is going to have an advantage. That cart has gotten closer to the second point, but you know, you still have a flank and a combo to dislodge, and it's just Highpander have tried 2 or 3 different ways to get forward, and it just seems they're running out of ideas at the moment.
Yeah, and currently they just had Grungebob who suicide try and take down the sentry gun. I think it would have been much more worthwhile for him to suicide on cart, as it's slowly moving backwards. It's incredibly close. I would have put them in a really good spot to be able to do something, especially if you can coordinate decloaking on the cart while somebody makes a suicide bomb. Just anything, as Hildreth goes down again. Mignando currently on a 7k, and Scriptzon currently on a 13k as well. So just a second point just seems to be their Waterloo or something. They can't figure out what they want to do, and the cart is at least stopping from rolling back. Somebody did touch that, but ultimately, I think this point comes to just, like, I don't know, just focus the objective. Focus the objective when the combo does not have, like, pure access to it.
Oh, backstab! Sorry to interrupt, but that is a backstab. Huge play from Grungebob, and like I said, it's going to take a huge play to make a difference there. And finally, Chronos does go down. No Uber for him. Scriptzon goes down as well, so his kill streak is over, and I'm not sure if it's possible for Highpander to push this all the way to last, but that's the kind of play we need to see from them. That's the kind of huge difference between capping the point and ending up in a stalemate. That's lasted about 5 minutes here, but Mignando there gets the backstab onto Kunai. So no heavy for the push, no pyro either. And it just seems the Bureau have just kind of reset this onto third point now. Hildreth quite far back. He's actually running the crit screen. He's at 100%, so he's going to want his demo to do something huge here. And it's all about Fungi now to see if he can land those crit stickies.
He does do a decent amount of damage, popping it off, does take down the sentry gun. Actually, no, the sentry gun gets pulled out. Nice job by Maddox grabbing that. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the clock. They need ×3 on this cart, and they need to be non-stop. They also needed that gun to go down, but was able to get away. Needs to get re-healed up right now. Chronos coming up to 100% right now, and everything is on the line for Highpander. I mean, they at least can lose this round and still continue on, but losing Mignando on the cart is definitely going to hurt them from being able to push forward.
Yeah, the Uber is used by the Bureau here on the third point, kind of holding on this left-hand side, looking at it from their point of view. And Hildreth is quite aggressive here. Fungi only with him for support. Gets spammed out there by the Soldier of Justice. They do have this crit streak advantage, though, 80%. So, I mean, if they can absolutely demolish them with this crits, you know, they have no Uber to contend with, then maybe it's possible for them to roll this all the way to last. I'm not sure how long it physically takes for the cart to move. But I mean, Fungi's alone here. He's going to have to land those dream stickies, but the backstab comes in from Grungebob, takes down Chronos. The rest of the damage comes in. The sentry is going to get spammed down really low. Finally goes down here. No heals for the Bureau. They need to start cleaning up the kills here, Highpander. They're getting time on the car. They're walking forward. Big plays from Justice just to land on the car and take down the heavy. There's a lot of damage coming in from Cooley. He manages to take down the car pressure, and I don't know, Highpander not doing a great job on the cleanup there. Sniper is still alive. Scriptzon is really aggressive, just trying to watch that car. Does take down Tracker, but gets taken down by Ubers in return. So this third cap is definitely going to go down with about 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining, Sigafoo. And I think this is possible. And there's no sniper for either team. But actually, 5 seconds until Scriptzon actually spawns. And with another crits ready, Hildreth could be able to do something with this.
They want to make sure that they don't pop it too early, because if they pop this too early, the people are going to be able to respawn and defend this, and Hildreth is actually going to get backstabbed right there! McNando ran behind him for so incredibly long. They wanted to get that pop off, but the gun does go down. Actually, a lot of frags coming out for either team right now. Actually, Scriptzon does go down, so no sniper here, no spine, no heavy to be able to defend this. Fungi overextended here, but the car is continuing to be pushed up by Kunai, who is going 1v1 against Justice. The Black Box ultimately loses out. Tracker jump onto the car, do something. Doom is going to try to get something here. With 32 seconds left on the clock, this is absolutely, they can get one more push in. They have a chance, but Chronos now up to 100% to be able to defend this.
Yeah, Tracker there managed to get a good pick onto Yahoo. No pyro for the defense would have been really strong, but I'm not sure what Hildreth was doing there. He kind of ran in front of his entire team. They still had 30 seconds to go. There wasn't that much of a panic rush. The Uber is used by Chronos, so he's got nothing left to do now, and then the rest of the kills are just coming in now as they take off the Highpander players one by one as they rushed in, and that's disappointing. I mean, I just think if Highpander just collected themselves and just said, right, we're all pushing in like through these different doorways now. They still have 30 seconds. 30 seconds is actually a really long time. The car is so close to the hull. And, you know, Kunai did such a great job getting it in through that choke area and getting it into the floor. You know, that's one of the most difficult parts, because it's easily spammable through the choke. And Kunai did the hard work to get the car in that position, and it just required Highpander to just kind of collect themselves and go in as a team. And that's what we said on Gully Wash, wasn't it? You know, they weren't kind of coordinating themselves, but that first round is going to go to the Bureau. So the Bureau are one round away from winning this playoff quarterfinal and booking a place in the semi-finals. And Highpander here, they have it all to do. I mean, you asked me what I said I'd say to them, and I said about, you know, not going on tilt and remembering teams that have come back from worst. I mean, this is it. This is the brink. I mean, they can't afford to lose any more rounds on this map.
Yeah, they're on their last leg right now, and I don't even know if they have one to stand on, because they've just looked so sloppy. Like this, once they capture that second point, okay, race is off. They continue to push off, and they looked great. But then they come into that final point, and they just kind of look, I don't know, as I said, you know, kind of that first round, I mentioned in between the halftime that they looked a little bit tilted on Gully Wash. And I think that's kind of what we're still seeing here, is that when I mean tilted is that they're just kind of playing like mindlessly. They're not playing together, not playing smart. They're kind of being like, oh, we have to make a play. We have to do something. Oh, we got to do, you know, we got to make something big happen. And ultimately it's not working in their favor. And so looking at these logs right now, I see Scriptzon again coming in big, top fragging this round as well. I mean, he had a 13-14K holding on that second point in the cornhouse, and he continues that as he's top fragging with 29 frags. And then Justice also doing a lot of damage. The Soldier and the Pyro Yahoo also actually in the top frag as well. So as well as McNando. So 4 of the top frags coming out in the favor of the Beer, which isn't that surprising given how the defense went down in their favor. But I think it speaks to also how much Highpander's throwing their lives away.
Absolutely. I mean, there just seemed to be a big difference between the assassin classes, you know, the sniper and the spy. And on that second point especially, we saw huge kill streaks from both McNando and Scriptzon. And obviously when you're defending, it's much easier to play those classes, because, you know, as a spy, when you're attacking, there's the pressure, you know, to get a pick, to get a slap on the sentry, or, you know, for the sniper to get a pick. When you're on defense, you just kind of stay in your position and you can just pick stuff off as it comes towards you. But, you know, especially for the Bureau, they just seem to have those players stay alive, and Scriptzon wasn't pressured that much. McNando wasn't getting caught after he got picks, and that just seemed to be the problem. And I think Highpander, you know, looking at their pushes on third and fourth, you know, they worked out well for them, you know, in the end. But it was that second hold. It took them 6, 7, 8 minutes, perhaps, to push from first to second. And that was the big issue. So they need to kind of sit down and analyze that. So they'll be attacking first this time. So they can put those things into practice straight away. And that's where the pressure lies. You know, they can't play the same way they did in the last attacking phase. Otherwise, it's going to make it a much easier time for the Bureau to be able to beat. And at the moment, the game's in the Bureau's hands. They have it all to lose. And that means the pressure is definitely on Highpander. It's going to be about time to see if those players can handle the pressure.
And, you know, kind of the one legacy note that you can kind of say that you said earlier here is that Highpander has never finished outside of the top 3. If they lose this round, that's going to put them in 4th place. And they are the longest standing active team currently playing right now. So it's be a pretty big deal for the Go out here as we're seeing an aggressive hold in this right house. Again, I really strongly disagree with this hold style. It did not work out for them last time. If I was Tracker, if I was talking to Tracker, I'd tell him watch that main sight line. Watch it as soon as they want to get out, because Chronos is going to be a free pick is when he is crossing back over here. But Hildreth only at 53%, interestingly enough. So a little bit weird. Did not heal in the downtime, and he's going to actually, hopefully that doesn't hinder him, as we're going to see a bomb in here. A lot of damage coming out. Chronos still holding on to the 100%. Kunai doing a lot of damage as well. Chronos able to hold on, but actually Kunai is down. Chronos is alone right now. Is going to have to pop to get out of here, and once again, I don't know why they're doing that. It just does not seem like a good idea, and Chronos once again gets proved wrong in this hold style.
Yeah, and he uses Uber, and it's only him and Fun's alive. And Atomic is definitely going to be on the chase now. He finds him, lands 2 shots, and Atomic on a 3k there, getting the medic. And I'm not sure what Hildreth was doing in spawn, because he's only just got his minigun charge. So I don't know whether he started on crits and switched to try to confuse them. But this is what they're doing. This is what they need to do. They're being aggressive on this second point. This is what they do in the previous round. This is what I mentioned. They are. Look at Grenjabob. He's got 2 huge picks. Takes down the heavy and takes down the demo. And the first point has just been capped. But Highpander are already in total control of this second point. The Bureau know that, and they've backed all the way out onto 3rd. And they're just saying, look, we can't hold 2nd now. It's pretty much free. Look at Gorston. Gorston just running in, causing havoc. You know, he can throw his life away like that. It's going to be 5 seconds till he respawns. Any damage, any kind of destruction he manages to wreak, he's going to be up again right now. And the Bureau do have 20%, but Uber is used by Hildreth. But unfortunately, he's not going to need classes to get the chase. It is only Kunai. And Atomic gets a late flash, but he's not actually going to be able to get anything done there. But the second point does go down in 1 minute and 26 seconds, Sigafoo. This is a much better showing out of Highpander already.
Yeah, they are angry, and you can see it in their playstyle. They're not holding anything back right now, as actually McNando's going to get caught out there. Scriptzon does get a kill onto Ubers. But yeah, this is exactly what we need to see out of Highpander. They're doing just that. They're actually trying to get aggressive on this right-hand side. Conch is popped off from Justice, but he takes so much damage, he's going to have to just back out right away. And I like kind of getting aggressive on this right-hand side, because usually you're only dealing with like 1 or 2 flank classes. And if you can bully them out, that can cause a lot for your team. Now, only ×1 on the cart, which I'd love to see like maybe ×2, ×3 to be able to, you know, have it a little bit closer when you want to get aggressive, but I suppose it will get up there in time. Level 3 is sitting up on the 3rd wave, 3rd level, as we're seeing a pretty traditional hold out of the defensive side here. But we'll see if they can do anything different, as Justice still holding on the left-hand side with Funds, Combo's holding on the right-hand side, and the Uber does get popped off.
Yeah, and it's very aggressive. It has to be used early, but Gorston just trying to push the medic away, but they are going to lose players here as they try to push that car, and they do not actually get any picks with that, and they lose 6 players for that push. So this would be a chance for maybe Bureau to get aggressive, but they don't want to be. They're just kind of holding on to that point, just calming down. McNando is behind enemy lines and gets found out by Atomic. But the difference with that push is, well, it didn't achieve anything at all. They didn't get any major picks, that's fine, but if they managed to get the cart a little bit further forward, it would have worked. But instead, all the players who tried to push the cart got taken out as well. So they really need to kind of work out what they want to do. They used crits on the last push, the last time they pushed this 3rd point. So maybe we'll see a change from that. But they're trying to push across this other side now, and they force Justice to totally give up that left-hand side. He has to back out after taking a reflect. But again, like we said earlier, this 3rd point is where you're going to get most of your time, and the Bureau just looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
McDaniel's going to get caught out here trying to make a play consistently up here. And it's actually, here comes a lot of aggression. They're going to try to focus down the sentry gun with his uber charge right now. Heavy doing a lot of damage against this Wrangler, trying to keep it healed up, but finally does go down. Can't save that thing. As Scrambled is going to come up on the backside, gets taken out, as well as a Scout. Uber charge does come out onto the Pyro. W-in-1 into Hildreth, who's going to be able to surf away for his life. No, not able to find any med pack. Gorston was too busy getting the frags, but only 2 alive here on the defensive side, and that's Chronos alone. Going to run away. He's melked right now, gets easily cleaned up there. The cart is rolling backwards, so this might give a chance for the Bureau to defend this if they can get out aggressively, but they're going to opt just to hold on to this final point, probably wisely slow. So as Chronos just gets back alive, with Hildreth having about a 15% advantage over him.
That was just deja vu. I mean, it was just exactly like the first point where the Bureau tried to get aggressive with their Uber, and they just lost everybody on their team. And the only player left alive was Chronos, and he got picked up by Atomic, who went for the chase. 4 minutes and 25 is much faster than we saw in the previous round for the Bureau and for Highpander. So this is looking very, very good for them so far. Hildreth has that slim Uber advantage over Chronos, and he is still running that minigun. Chronos all the way back on spawn. He's looks like he's still running minigun as well. So it's going to be equal Ubers, which I'm not sure how that happened. Hildreth must have died or something. Oh no, of course he died. Yeah, he tried to escape. So Highpander, a little bit of a kind of a lull here, and they're deciding to push kind of this flank area. They already have the Uber. Chronos is only at 90%, hasn't been building as efficiently, and they're getting quite aggressive far forward. They use the Uber very, very early on. They're getting a lot of spam onto the team. The Uber is traded by the Bureau, and Yahoo is just going to keep Fungi inside. He's trying to loud down those quickie sticks to get anything done, but the only casualty for the Bureau is Justice. That car is in through the choke though, and it's edged ever closer to the final point. But once again, kind of a nothing push. Nothing really got achieved there other than the cart being pushed forward.
And that's not the worst thing in the world, getting yourself in a better position. Gun also did go down, so it's currently only level 1, as we're seeing a dry push coming in here from the far right-hand side. Hildreth trying to do a decent amount of damage, as well as with Kunai, as well as Ubers, but they did drop 2 players right there, and nobody's sitting onto the cart trying to push that forward. The sentry gun is going to still even keep itself alive. It actually gets teleported to the opposite side, and it looks like Fungis and Ubers are going to back out here and lick their chops and find another day, as McNando tries to make a play onto the combo, but gets caught out there, but able to keep his life. And both medics now back up to 100%, and we should see another Uber exchange coming in shortly, but we've got to make sure that we see that cart being pushed at the same time.
Yeah, the Uber comes in and it does take down the dispenser, but nothing else gets picked up as Nando gets the pick onto Kunai during that Uber, and Fungi gets cleaned up by Yahoo. Hildreth does survive though, very weak. He's just got Gorston for company, and they're staying quite far forward. If the Bureau got a little bit aggressive here, they might be able to catch them out, but they decide not to. And looking at the cart, it hasn't actually moved during that push. It got just touched a little bit, so it didn't get moved back. But Highpander just trying to find a way. I mean, just before that push happened, Scriptzon got a pick onto Tracker. So with no sniper kind of to worry about, the Bureau could just spread out. They could just fan out and just clean up and kind of kite that Uber, which is what they've done the past 2 times. So maybe Highpander need to get sort of a bigger pick, some sort of opening before they push in with these Ubers, because these trades aren't really doing anything at the moment. As Doom is actually just sat on cart trying to get some time, and he actually does pretty well. But Scriptzon gets the headshot onto Hildreth, and that is going to be 100% Uber advantage for Chronos now. And Highpander, like I said, they need to get a pick. They need to get some sort of opening here because they're getting a little bit stuck on this last point.
Yeah, they need to find something. I mean, at least did a good job there having Doom push the cart. This actually makes it into a spot where you could potentially decloak on it in the downtime. Decloak on the right-hand side where the sentry gun can't kill you. Move it up, 2-3 feet, but that just makes it so for the next Uber push, all you need to do is just casually walk in. Grungebob is hiding currently with the Cloak and Dagger behind enemy lines, currently sitting outside of spawn. He's going to get caught out there by Yahoo. Got to question that decision-making there a little bit, trying to make a play when he's alone. But Scramble's going to back up here, as McDaniel also did get caught up, so both spies down for the respective teams. Grungebob going to come back up, though. They do get the respawn waves faster for the offensive side, but the cart is rolling backwards, and I would, if I was the engineer, I wouldn't be suiciding potentially like 5 seconds ago to keep that forward, but he's going to just do it right now.
It's crit screen coming out.
Crit
the first crit.
Can he find it? No, but the Uber charge does come out on the backhand side.
Oh, and, no, but they do get the engineer. They get Matix and Yahoo. That's engineer and Pyro down. for the defensive team. So if they can get a sap or something, a Grinchable gets a sap onto the sentry, so there's no sentry watching, and there is no pyro to air blast them away. With only 5 players left alive, look at Doom. He's just on that cart, but gets cleaned up by Funds. But Hildreth deciding now to get on there, trying to Uber sort the spy, and it's Uber's trying to keep his team alive. Gets his medic back to safety, and that cart is just tantalizingly close to the end now. Yahoo gets to reflect onto Ubers. But Hildreth does manage to stay alive, and he is going to have that huge crits advantage now. 80% ready with Chronos only at 20%, and he can't even really switch to a quick fix to kind of get some sort of charge going, because that's not going to protect you against the crits at all. And once again, we're seeing this crits play coming out of Highpander, and it seemed to work really well. A big early crits comes in, doesn't get anyone. The first one just takes down Funds, and that scout pick, you want a little bit more than that. Matex is so weak, has to go back into spawn. And that heavy is on the cart. Scramble needs to get cleaned up. He surely is here by Atomic. And Highpander are just going to flood the cart, but the spawns come in for the Bureau. They are just taking the high ground, and they're cleaning up. Justice takes down Hildreth, and Chronos survived through all of that, and still has 89% with just under 5 minutes to go before the round timer ends, and Highpander get a little bit stuck.
And 12 seconds until the cart starts to roll back again, and I mean, I think this is, especially when you're doing, like, you're waiting for pushes to happen, I think it's so valuable to just make like a couple people to suicide to try to keep it forward or something, as hopefully it will not roll all the way back here, but they're going to try to push aggressively on this right-hand side. Cooley actually does get caught out there. Nice job by Uber's, nice 2 rockets. Kunai is down right now for this offensive side, down for another 10 seconds, so no heavy with this push as the cart continues to roll backwards, as they have, 5 players trying to push around this right-hand side. Sentry Gun does go down with the help of Grenjabob. Conch just ending up right now as Scriptzon takes down Trackers. No sniper here for this push, but Doom is onto the cart incredibly low. The Pyro's going to jump down onto the cart as he's lit as well. Should be cleaned up by the mini Sentry Gun, but he's dancing for his life against Ubers here. And just a lot of back and forth, but nothing really coming of it, but at least the cart is continuing to be held forward.
Yeah, the Uber comes out very early from Hildreth, and it's going to be used onto Gorston. He gets so much damage onto the players. Cooley has to go back into spawn. Sentry has gone down, and this is the time while everyone's being distracted. Somebody needs to be on the cart, but the rest of the Highpander players are just so passive. No one took the risk and walked in there, and that cart is just going to start rolling backwards. And this is the kind of problem we've seen, where there's just kind of not much support coming in while the Uber is going on, but lots of players are dying in the post-Uber battle. Grenjabob gets the pick onto Chronos, so medic down Yahoo is the only player left alive, and that is a wipe, another wipe in this game, and the cart goes in 11 minutes and 3 seconds, which, to be fair, is almost exactly the same time we saw the Bureau push the first time around. So I suppose Highpander can't be too displeased, but I'm sure they'll be expecting more after kind of that really decent first push on the first 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 points, Highpander looked pretty well. I mean, they got stuck a little bit on the third point, but they were able to go through. But that final push there, I kind of showed the weakness that they had in the Gully Wash push, where they seem to struggle kind of getting players coordinated together, who understands what their role is, who wants to do what. And I mean, I think they would have been able to cut maybe 1 minute to 2 minutes off that time if they just didn't let the cart roll backwards, if they just had player suicide in the off-Uber times. But it's easy to say, obviously as a caster to be able to see this stuff, but it might end up hurting them now, as they are at about 11 minutes and 3 seconds. And I don't know. I mean, as you said, I think it's slightly faster than the initial time put up by the Bureau in the first round, but we'll see if the Bureau can improve their time anyway, because if they do, that will give them this game. And as you said, Highpander also on their final last leg. If they don't win this round, it is over. They are done. They are in 4th place for the first time ever being in the Prem.
Absolutely. I mean, the streak will be over. Highpander desperate, and like you said, it's all on the line here. This phase, if the Bureau cap faster than 11 minutes, it's all over for Highpander. So the pressure is definitely on them just as we come into a pause, just as the round starts. So I suppose that gives us a little breather from this has been pretty intense all the way through. So just to recap, guys, we're BlackOut Gaming TV. I'm CeeJaey, and with me is Sigafoo and John, and this is the quarter-final of the ETF2L Premiership Highlander. This is Season 10, a landmark season, and the team that finished in 4th, the Bureau, are up against the team that finished in 3rd, which is Highpander, and the winner of this goes on to the semi-final. Now, because they finished in 3rd, Highpander got a map advantage pick. So they picked Gullywash, the Bureau picked Borneo, and I believe Highpander picked Process for a decider. But the Bureau came out on Gullywash, won that map 1-0 and took the first round on this map as well. So if the Bureau win this next round, they push in faster than 11 minutes, they will be through to the semi-finals where they'll play against Strong Opinions for a chance at a place in the grand final against Fair Enough. So Highpander need to win the next 2 rounds on Borneo, and they also need to win Process in order to get through. So a lot of pressure on them, a team that's never finished outside the top 3 teams in their entire history. And one thing I was going to say, Sigafoo, because of the way the maps work, like I said, if you're a higher seed, you get 2 picks. If you're the lower seed, you get 1. Do you think Highpander might have come into this game and thought, we can lose Borneo, we just need to win our 2 best maps? The 2 maps we picked. They've lost the first map, so they might not be as prepared as you think on this map, and maybe that's what we're seeing here, is they're kind of having to kind of relearn the map on the fly.
It potentially could be. Some teams also, could do the thing where they're like, all right, well, we know Gully Wash so well that we're not going to practice that, but we're going to practice more on Borneo to kind of get that coordination down because we feel so confident in that way. Because, the Gully Wash gameplay looked sloppy, to put it simply. And even this on Borneo, they're at least looking a little bit better, especially once they got their feet underneath of them. And I don't know, it seemed like this last round they kind of got it together, but I don't know. It kind of, each team's mentality can differ a little bit, but you definitely think that they're coming in with, okay, let's win our map. Like, let's just win the maps that we choose, and we'll kind of go from there. But I feel like they probably thought this was going to be a little bit of less of a contested game. And I'm kind of surprised myself even that the Bureau is performing as well as they are. And obviously you play in Prem. is the Bureau currently surprising you with how well they're doing today?
Yeah, today for sure. I thought Highpander definitely had the upper hand. If you look at my team, we came into Prem last season as a new team, and 6 of our 9 players had never played in Prem before, and we went on to win it. So that's the kind of standard that you can do, and the Bureau are showing that it's their first season in Prem. They can fight it out with the big boys as well. Surprising in the fact that they're seeming to be in total control of this tie at the moment, against Highpander, who you think with the experience would be up for the occasion, but in terms of their players, they have the players to be able to be in this position. So once you get to this place, as Hildreth always says, there's no easy games in Prem, and he's finding that out today as we are on pause. Hildreth's taking a lot of spam, has to back off there just behind his sentry gun, and Highpander just deciding to go for this more natural, this more expected passive hold around the house, but Fungi with the sticky trap takes down Chronos. That is a drop. And he also takes down the demo man Cooley, so no medic and no demo. And that is huge. That is just going to take off at least a minute from them being able to push with Uber.
Yeah, that is a big play. Dine, how often do we see drops to sticky traps anymore, especially on these opening rounds? It's so unusual. So nice job there by Fungi to be able to do this. But a lot of aggression coming out from the Bureau. Uber charge is going to come off as Fungi is going to try to chase them down. Actually, Uber comes over the top, takes down Chronos. No medic here, and so people are so incredibly low on the offensive side. Only 3 players alive. They're going to get back up and able to keep themselves up. But the level 3 sentry gun did go down here. It's going to be rebuilt in the house right now. But if I was Doom, I'd actually be tempted to potentially even back this up a little bit further. Maybe not try to hold aggressively, just get built on the next point, because the likelihood of them holding onto this for that much longer is not very. But here we go, as they're going to try to get aggressive here. Up on the side, down goes the gun. Bureau doing a good job of blowing them out, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough, as Gorson dropping down, trying to make a play. Gets a decent amount of damage out, doesn't get any frags, but Cooley does go down. And this is actually a surprisingly good defense coming out of Highpander.
Yeah, they're getting the picks, and Tracker there, who was the one who timed out, it seems, on his respawn, managing to take down Scriptzon, so no danger of a sniper pick coming out of the offense. And Ubers is doing really well here. He gets the conch up, uses it, and just creates the space for his team. And look at Bureau, they have the players up, but they're all so weak. Cooley that gets picked off because he was the furthest forward. Chronos had to run all the way back to spawn. They're just doing really well. They're just playing as a unit, which is really strong from them. So looking good for them so far. Uber comes in very early. I'm not sure if they're worried about the sniper or something, and they're just going to focus the sentry with the pyro. The counter Uber's just going to come out. Much better Uber here for Highpander. They need to get the frags. Funds goes down, Matix goes down, and Chrono somehow manages to escape. So he's still here, and Fungi is going to get picked off here, which is not good for them. And Highpander surely just going to back out now onto the second point, get set up full there. But they've managed to chip off a decent couple of minutes there. Not bad at all. And the Bureau looking to get they're looking very, very aggressive here, and Ubers is going to get caught out. Surely going to give the intel out to his team, but Hildreth could get caught out here. He's only got Gorston for company.
Yeah, the level 1 sentry gun just being rebuilt back right now as Doom did go down in that first point, but they're actually holding on right now just outside the house. Gorston, again, doing his favorite move, which is to run into the enemy combo and hope for the best. Didn't get too much there, but did at least spook them back a little bit as Chronos goes down. Grenjabob coming in huge. Cooley also gets taken out as well as the Pyro, and the combo classes are down. The ground is going to be retaken here by Highpander as the engineer gets tossed into the heavy, but nice job as 7 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock, and they're currently all set up on the second point and look incredibly strong with the cart so far back.
You know what? One of the big differences so far, because this is so chaotic, Script has been going down over and over again. And I just think because in the previous rounds, Bureau have just been kind of in control, playing at their pace. Now that Highpander are kind of playing this aggressive style on the defense, and they're controlling the play. Scriptzon hasn't been as well protected, but as I say that, the counter curse of the caster, he does take down Tracker, but Fungi, I don't know if that was a sticky trap or just spam, manages to take down Chronos, also gets Yahoo for good measure. Uber comes out, and they're just trying to clean up the players now, pushing that cart. Scramble goes down to Gorston, and Cooley actually kills himself with his own roller. So, very decent hold coming out of Highpander so far. They are going to have a 25% advantage once again over Chronos as he just respawns. And we're seeing this sniper battle between Scriptzon and Tracker, which so far in this round, Tracker seems to be winning.
Yes, Hildreth currently winning the Uber battle right now, going up to 62%, actually building up fairly fast. Is he actually building it up on purpose? It doesn't seem to be, as McNando does go down there. Scriptzon is also down, so no sniper here for the offensive side.
Chronos is running crits. Another crits play coming out of an attacking team, and we'll see if that makes a difference. I guess Hildreth is going to have his Uber in time, but I'm not sure if they know it's going to be crits.
They did back up a long ways as they're going to pop off the Uber very unusually. So far, Chronos actually got disconnected from his combo, but it was able to hold onto the Kritzkrieg down to half health, but going to be able to reconnect back up with Cooley. And we'll see if they're going to be able to get anything, as it looks like they want to push up this main side, but they don't know where Hildreth is currently. And they actually finally do peek him out, but will they be able to get the Kritzkrieg in? And you do get the demo right there as the first sticky comes out. Hildreth disconnected now from the combo, but Uber's coming in over the top. Dodges one more Kritzkrieg as well. The Tracker takes down Scriptzon, so no sniper here for the defensive side. Kunai gets a better of the Devilman right there, and they're able to hold on against this Kritzkrieg play, which is, I think it's a little bit early to get cheeky. I think this is a point that's very able to be taken just by pure play.
I mean, yeah, we saw Highpander struggle on their first push on this map, and I don't know, it just seemed like they needed to switch something up, but the Bureau have got the cart all the way up this hill. They've kind of got it in a good position. I don't know why they changed things up, but Atomic there, he was on a 6 kill streak when he finally took down the medic. Of all the players in Prem this season, out of every player, every class, Atomic has the highest kills per minute of any player so far this season. So he has been doing work in this round particularly. I think, he really has turned it on the attacking and on the defending. He's doing so much work for the team. Hildreth there actually got an arrow kill onto Funds, and Funds kind of said something disbelieving in chat, but Tracker with the headshot takes down Chronos. Medic down again for the Bureau. We're coming up to 4:20 left on the clock now, and the Bureau kind of, just like Highpander in the first round, running out of ideas here. They're losing their medic far too often, and with Chronos dead half of the time, they're not getting any decent pushes out.
Yeah, they seem to be struggling, and this is what I was talking about before, is they keep trying to push directly into the combo. When pushing into the combo does not work, push into the flank, take over the flank. And currently you have Tracker sitting above the sentry gun, but currently it's only doomed by a sentry gun. If you just get a spy as well as with somebody jumping in at the same time, you'll take down the sentry gun, you can probably take down the engineer, and then you can focus cap time onto the cart. And then you're also going to have the enemy combo team flanked out, where they cannot retreat anymore if you take over the cart path. Now we do come into our second pause of this round. Last time it was due to Tracker having some internet issues, but I mean, that's what I'm talking about, is like mixing it up. Like, obviously you can go do and get kind of kooky and do a Kritzkrieg play on offense, which I really am not a fan of. I think that it can work, but it's few and far between when it does. And if it does work, great, it does. But if it doesn't work, you've just set your team back for another 2 to 3 minutes. And when you're playing against this kind of a time, I mean, I guess it feels like desperation, but I would rather see a different style of pushing rather than a different style of medigun. Because again, I don't know, maybe I'm just an NA purist. I know that you love your switching of mediguns over here in you.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was watching that entire pause. Fungi had a sticky trap on kind of this little ramp area near the house, and he wasn't even looking at it, he was looking out the window, but Granger Bob was behind, and I was just wondering, is Granger Bob going to say to his demo, pop your sticks? And I don't know if he did, or Fungi just blind-detted, but he manages to take down Chronos once again with another sticky trap, so great play there from Highpander. And yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, just because a push isn't working doesn't mean you need to change something as drastic as a medigun. You know, on 5 CP on King of the Hill, we do see this kind of changing of the mediguns, but on payload, I don't think you can go wrong with Uber, and it just, you know, maybe pushing from a different direction. And at the moment, the Bureau are just going through the same way, and once again, they're trying this house, they're trying to go through this area, and they're not getting the picks, and Tracker has really turned it on. Little another fun fact for you, Sigafoo. The person with the second most kills per minute in Prem is Tracker. So they have, you know, players like Tracker and Atomic, when they're on their game, they get those frags. And that's what we've been seeing. Tracker getting those sniper picks, getting those picks onto the medic. And when you're constantly getting those kills, it just makes it a hassle for the attacking team. But Hildreth uses his Uber there, and he actually has to get out, and he's holding behind his sentry. Doom there doing the best he can to try and keep it alive. It finally goes down. And Chronos is going to have 100% on his medigun, so he's gone back to the default medigun with less than 2.5 minutes to push. We're kind of seeing a very similar situation to what we saw earlier on from Highpander.
And Chronos, actually, I don't know if that was intentional or if he got forced off there, but either way, a little bit of a bad Uber coming into this third point. Hildreth is actually disconnected with his combo players. Ubers should go down here as well, so only Fungi is going to be able to keep himself alive. Hildreth coming up to 100% right now, but they lost a couple of their key classes, and they got to be careful. I would say just give up this third point, or at least give it up temporarily before you push back in, but they're just going to pop this Uber charge between Atomic and Fungi to try to defend this cart right now. It actually does take down Chronos. Scramble should go down here as well. Yes, he does. Justice, the only one alive, furthest one forward for his team, but there is a mini sentry gun on the cart as well, with a scout and engineer doing a lot of work. Hildreth caught out, but no! The Demo Man eats the rocket, saving Hildreth's life. Here comes in Yahoo onto the combo class. Shotgun down, Demo Man. Now shotgun onto Hildreth, not able to reconnect with him. Third point does go down in the favor currently of the Bureau with 1:30 left on the clock, and they absolutely have a chance after looking so desperate for the first 2 points.
Yeah, they do. They kind of got this momentum now, and Highpander holding it aggressive on this last point. We saw them do this before, and if they lose that sentry, then that's when it all kind of goes wrong. Doom holding very far forward. He's got a level 2 there just on the left-hand side, with the medic holding on the right-hand side, and I don't know, I mean, if Highpander can hold and win this Uber exchange, they've won this round. But if Bureau win it, then they can... Oh, and it's quick fix, and the quick fix actually takes down Kunai, and the Hildreth drops to Scriptzon. The headshot coming out of the sniper takes down the medic. And there's only 4 players, 3 players, 2 players left alive for Highpander. And Bureau are just going to walk in to last it. The sentry goes down. Doom cannot keep it alive. Amongst all that spam, the spawns are coming back in now. But the Bureau actually have so much control over the high ground. They're going to have got 2 times on the cart, and it is going to go in Sigafoo. And the Bureau have won the second round, and they have won the second map. And that means they are through to the semi-finals of the Premiership playoffs. Oh my word.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane what just happened. I mean, I was just ready to call back, all right, the Bureau does not have a chance here. There's no way they can win this game. They should just focus on the third round, but I mean, right there we saw kind of mistake after mistake coming out of Highpander when ultimately it comes down to holding. And one of the biggest things I talk about consistently time and time again about how teams on defense should be playing defensive side of things, it's all about transitions. Like, that's how you win games, is transitioning effectively from point to point. And we saw this out of the Bureau, actually, is where they would give up a point when they did not have an opportunity to hold on to it. In Highpander, I mean, they consistently try to hold on to points, the third point and the fourth point, aggressively when they probably shouldn't. Now, obviously, Hildreth did have Uber charge. He was trying to milk it out when the soldier came in over the top, as well as with Scriptzon taking a headshot on him. But I think it would have been better just to back up onto that final point. Use the chokes to your advantage. It's very hard pushing into that final point versus pushing into an open area, which they're holding on to. And then the third point, they popped Uber on the demo man with like 3 players forward to defend against like 6 or 7 on the offensive side. Like, you're not going to win that battle. Just back up, reconnect with your team, get in a better position. And I don't know, it just seemed like Highpander, they just wanted to make a play happen. Again, something right there where they're just a little bit out of coordination with their team, and unfortunately lose that round as they looked so incredibly strong. I thought they had it. I thought they would get that win, but ultimately does not come down in their favor. I mean, what did you see yourself, CeeJaey, in that final round?
That's exactly what you said there. I mean, that last push, like I was saying, I was talking about that that aggressive hold coming out from Highpander. They were holding outside of kind of the warehouse on the last point, and if they'd used their Uber there, then they would have been able to win that fight. They were coming up against a quick fix, sorry. But instead they drop Kunai. So it's still winnable. It's still winnable. You Uber your demo man, you do something like that to actually clean up the frags, because the players you're playing against, they're not invincible. But instead Hildreth tries to milk it for that kind of 2 seconds too long, and it turns out turning into a drop, and then it just cascades then. And that's the thing, it's not just one mistake. It was, do they need to hold that aggressive? You've got 60 seconds to go. And like we said 30 seconds was quite a lot in the previous round. You've got time to make a play. That was at least a chance for, the Bureau to do 2 different things there if they could have done a repush. And it's better to hold areas where there's chokes rather than in areas where you're just going to be turning into 1v1s. I mean, when we look at the logs, Hyper actually had more damage. They had more kills. You look at the top fraggers, Fungi pumping out over 400 damage per minute. I mean, that's including the pauses. And Atomic also with 24 kills coming in second. And it seemed Tracker was getting a lot more headshots despite all the timing outs. So I think really that was kind of a chance lost by Highpander there. But we are joined by a few Bureau players. We're joined by Chronos and Fun. So congratulations on your win, and congratulations for reaching the semi-final. How do you guys feel after that?
Yeah, there's a lot of hype, and to be honest, this is one of the first games in quite a while. I have to admit that we haven't tilted at any point. We just were so hyped all the way through, and the comms were good, and we were just, even when Highpander were just destroying us in that, when they were just holding second forever, we were like, it's fine, we've got 3 minutes, we can still do this, we just need to push, and we need to get good pushes going in now. And we did eventually, and I switched to quick fix because we just needed to put out heals, and we needed to be pushing outside of Uber charges. It was our only chance. So that's what we did, and yeah, everyone just pushed together. Everyone pushed together, we got picks, and it was amazing. Everyone played so well today.
Coming into the game, obviously you played against Highpander's pick first, which was Gullywash. They had the pick advantage being the highest seed. How much did you focus on Gullywash in your preparations? And when you were kind of, obviously you scrimmed it, I assume, but did you focus more on it, considering it was their choice? And were you confident going into it? Were you confident in the later maps?
Gullywash was probably the weakest of the 3 they picked. Like, we're stronger on process, but 5 CP is not a weakness of ours at all. So we were wondering, I thought Hildreth probably could have got us on a couple of worse maps for us, to be honest, but because we're pretty decent on 5 CP. But yeah, we sort of thought about it, and in the warm-up we played Fair Enough, and they didn't want to play Borneo, so we just played the 2 5 CP maps. But during the week, we hadn't actually played Process at all since Process Week. And I think we played Gullywash once. We'd focused most of our scrims on actually Badwater and Borneo, because we were unsure which one we were going to pick. It depended on which Highpander banned.
Okay, and Fans, you came in to play today. I'm going to throw it out there and say that was your first game for Bureau this season. Is that like a permanent thing, or are you just stepping in for Zaffis today?
I'm not too sure. I think Bureau's looking for a scout, and I'd like to be joining the main roster. I don't know what Chronos' final decision on that. is yet.
Do I need to make it live on the cast?
I don't know. You don't have to.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy for you to play Scout Funds. You've done a great job today, and you've done a great job in scrims. So Zaphos is actually unable to play because he got a girlfriend. So we are looking for a Scout, and yeah, Funds is probably in our eyes to be maining Scout for us.
Woo.
Interesting. And Scriptzon, we've also been joined by Scriptzon, the Portuguese sniper for the Bureau, who went huge, top fragged in a couple of the rounds there. So congratulations to you as well. You kind of joined the roster quite late on in the season. You only played the last couple of games. Kind of, has it been easy for you to just kind of jump in, because we've seen you doing really well in the past few games? I mean, what's the secret to your success?
Yeah, hello guys. Yeah, I was subbing for them like the entire season, and I was just playing like one game a week, and for some reason everyone wants me to play for them. So, and my secret is like my party hat, by the way. Party hat gives, I don't know, I just like it.
That's good to hear. And we've also got, Sigafoo has to jump out. So is there anything you want to ask or say before you disappear, Sig?
No, just wanted to say thank you guys so much. Commiserations to Highpander for not being able to pull it out here, but thank you guys both. Was incredibly fun. I mean, me and CeeJaey watched a 27-minute Gully Wash game, and we're like, that was really good. Was that really the end of the game? So just great job on both your parts for putting up a hell of a match to be able to cast, and thank you so much, CeeJaey, for casting with me as always. And I'll let you continue back to the interviews as I have to go jump to the region wars. And again, yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for casting, man. It's been a pleasure. So we actually do have Hildreth here as well, from Highpander to commiserations. Buddy. Hi. I'll start off by saying Gullywash. I mean, it was your pick. What do you think went wrong there in the end?
I personally feel but it was basically, I don't know, I don't want to say we were unlucky, but the only rounds they won was a round we were 9v8, because Ubers was pretty much lagged out on the middle, and they won that, and then 29 minutes of fail pushing. And that was pretty much the map, really. I mean, it's not really our fault, it's not really their fault or anything. We only got ourselves to blame. Like, we had 29 minutes to get a round back, and we didn't. We just failed too many Uber pushes. We tried to play, we did the same bad Ubers time and time again. It's what happens when you've got a team that doesn't practice together very much. Like in the scrims, we got 4 players, and then generally when we play with Atomic and he's calling a lot more stuff, he wants us to try and fight them 4v5, and it's all scrappy. I don't like playing TF2 like that myself. We had so many good chances on Gully, and we missed everyone. We give them credit for defending as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really, really entertaining game, and we did join it at the last minute, just as you guys started, so we kind of missed that early mid-fight. But then, I was kind of looking at the time and thinking, wow, where's all that time gone? It was really entertaining, and, I'm not really a fan of watching 5CP either, so, that says something. It was really back and forth between both teams. Moving on to Borneo, how, not saying were you guys on tilt or anything, but were you confident you could see the tie out from then on? Borneo and Process were the next 2 maps. Was there something on Borneo? Was that a map that you were comfortable on?
We weren't really on tilt on Borneo after we lost Gully, because we just kind of said, for morale purposes, Chronos, don't worry, we just kind of said, yeah, they got lucky on that map. We were a bit unlucky, and then we had some good times, but then we just kind of went on tilt there. Their sniper probably had the game of his life in that map. I don't think you'll ever play better against Scriptzon unless you're walling, mate. But
yeah, I played really well in that map. I had a really nice game versus Fair Enough, one scrim, 4 weeks ago on that map when was the new week. Yeah, but
Scriptzon always has done so much work for us on Borneo, to be honest. The first time we actually got him scrimming for us was on Borneo, and we were like, whoa, and he was doing so much work. And yeah, it's a map we are confident on. And when we played Femtech, when we dropped points against them, that we felt like we were disappointed with that. Even though we got the win, we dropped points because we played badly as opposed to it being something we were bad on.
The second round was just, I mean, that was a round on defense we should have won.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and
true.
it was kind of my fault in the end, because we were 90% Uber and they started pushing tracks, and there's just becomes just a mess. And instead of getting my team out, if we'd got that Uber, I think we'd have won the round. We might have still lost the game, but you know.
Yeah, I have to apologise there. I thought you had the Uber and I called it as a drop. But
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
think you. Yeah.
I dropped 2 on the defense, and then it cost us. It didn't cost us anything almost. It's weird. And then I died with 90% Uber, and it costs us so much. But in general, it is my fault.
I'll have one more question for you, Hildreth. It's going to be a difficult one. So you guys, like Highpander, you've been in Prem, I think the longest or the joint longest in the highest tier of European Highlander. So you kind of have that record. Up until today, you'd always finished in the top 3. Every season, people always ask the question, are you coming back next season? I mean, you've talked about going to Deutschland with a LAN Panda roster, which would be really exciting. Do you plan whether it's going to be the same people or you do another roster shake-up? Is season 11 going to have Highpander back in it?
We'd have to do a roster shake-up. I mean, there were a few players that I would go for, but I honestly, at this stage, I don't really know who's going to come in and who isn't. So I'll be safe to say if I quit now, I wouldn't be disappointed at the end of the day. So that might be my last game in ETF2L, but I'll definitely go into LAN. We'll try and get whatever roster we can, but unfortunately that game might dampen some spirits, so a couple of people might not want to come now. But we'll still try and get the best roster we can, and try and come to LAN. That's
well,
our
that
plan.
is something to look forward to. I mean, that is Deutschland. For everyone watching who's unaware, Deutschland, the Highlander-only LAN, happened for the first time last season, and it is going to be happening again in September this year. And there's quite a lot of teams. There's a Team 9 roster going, the old Team 9 team. Strong Opinions is going. We signed up. There's also a Fair Enough team going, I believe, and like you said yourselves, going with Highpander. I believe the Bureau are going to try to put together a roster, and there's also about 3 other teams already signed up. So there is going to be another big LAN. So that's something for us to look forward to during the off season until the next Highlander season starts. I'll move over to the Bureau now. So to you 3 guys. So you're now guaranteed at least 3rd place because you're through to the semi-finals, and you're going to be coming up against Strong Opinions. What are your feelings to that game? Like, how confident are you for that game? And in general, obviously, Fair Enough are awaiting in the grand final. I mean, what's your kind of belief at the moment? Do you think this is as far as you can go, or do you think you can go all the way?
Before the season started, we said we want to finish 3rd. That was our aim, the 3rd behind Fair Enough and Strong Opinions, because we felt that we could be beating pretty much everyone else. But Fair Enough, we occasionally can get games off. But against you guys, we feel, I don't know, you guys always seem to have the edge on us. And I don't know, just something about the way you guys play, we really struggle against. So we're not going to be extremely confident, but we're going to go into the game. We're going to give it our best, of course. And we'll see when we can play this week, because we have a few problems with playing at certain days, so we have to sort stuff out with that.
I'm an experienced man. I'm not going to fall for your gaming, your mind games. Oh, we're not going to beat you guys. Oh, you guys are too good for us. Anything could happen. I mean, you knocked out Highpander today. Who knows? Who knows what can happen? But that is a game we're going to be having in the future. So, like Chronos said, it will be organised hopefully soon, and we'll have that fixture up on ETF2L and BlackOut Gaming TV. We'll be casting it. Obviously, I won't be casting it, but hopefully we can have a couple of people and a decent cameraman to give you guys the action. And obviously it'll be on saloon.tf as well, so you can bet away your skins on which team you think is going to win. So I'm going to put a night there. It's been a really entertaining game. I'm going to go down for a few shout-outs. So we'll start from the top. Chronos, is anyone you shout out to?
I've got a few requests. Shout out to Porky and Budget Toucans. I hope they do really well in their final this week because they're playing in the high final. Shout out to Funds for stepping in and doing just an amazing job. Shout out to everyone that's played so far this season. We've obviously had to swap around our roster quite a bit. Shout out for 1PT for being so keen to carry on playing even though Mick came back. Yahoo wants me to propose to him live on stream, so I'm going to ask Yahoo to marry me. And yeah, that'll be it. Thanks.
Alright, cool. Funds, is there anyone you want to shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Stevie Wonder's AIM School, new Sixes team with Big Man Yak on it. Shout out to Planet Express, my new Sixes team. And finally, shout out to Bureau for giving me a really good first game in Prem.
Cool. Hildreth, anyone shout outs?
I just wanted to say, I've having thought about it over the last couple of seasons, it's not really been the most enjoyable thing. I think we'll continue next season, CeeJaey. I've made a decision live on air, so that will be my last game. So congrats to the Bureau. I just want to shout you guys out for a good game. Even the ones that were spamming binds, like kids.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I want to say, yeah, I do not take responsibility for. And I think it's poor show if people are spamming vines or being insulting because you guys are always really respectful. And yeah, so shout out to you guys. I did forget about that.
Thanks. So yeah, I wish you guys good luck in the next game. I just don't want to see CeeJaey with more Highlander gold medals than me. I'm joking, CeeJaey. Best of luck. So best of luck. Hopefully it's a good game. Hopefully I can cast the next game. Shout out to my team. Hopefully we can still get a LAN team together and then make the Deutschland 2016 the best LAN it can be. And thank you, BlackOut, for casting. And thank you, last of all, John. I love you guys. Oh, GG.
Wow, sorry. I'm just trying to get the Bible thumps in chat. I mean, it can't be. I won't believe it until season 11 starts and Highpander isn't there. Well, thank you for announcing on air, but I hope it's not the end for your Highlander career. So yeah, we'll move on to Scriptzon. Finally, do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, I want to shout out their team for playing, for giving us such an intense game, especially on Borneo. It was so fucking hard. I want to shout out to my team. I want to shout out to the casters, and I want to shout out a guy that is on stream named Spirit the Dead something. I don't know. I can't spell it. So, and I just want to say I can't wait to sleep with Claudia on LAN, maybe.
Something to look forward to. So finally, I got a few shout-outs. Thank you to my team. Obviously, my team will be playing against the Bureau some point this week in the semi-final, so that is Strong Opinions. Shout-outs to our sponsors, all of our various sponsors, Essentials.tf and TF2 Pickup, Whitelist.tf, all of those places. Do not forget about TF2Pickup.net. It's still alive. If you want to play some organized Highlander games, that is a place to go to. Highlander is still alive if you want it to be. Shout out to Anubis101 and PastinyX2 because they asked me to in the chat. But this has been BlackOut Gaming TV with the quarterfinals of the ETF2L Premiership season. We will see you next time for the semi-finals. Thank you for watching and good night.